This holiday season, every time you purchase a 12-ounce SnortBucks coffee, a portion of the proceeds will be given to the Penny Foundation, the world's premier charity dedicated to helping down-on-their-luck content creators pay their daily bills.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money. I need my bills, the electric bill, the internet bill.
So stop by your local SnortBucks today and help send some penny their way.
All right. Season's greetings and happy holidays from everybody here at GTG Network and Productions, DSPNEWS, the Snort Report, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, and hopefully you guys are doing well. We're here celebrating the 12 days of Goutmas on the third day of Goutmas, if you will. So we're 2 more days and then we'll be right there at the big day. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. I have this one's actually gonna be a little bit longer than usual. Maybe we'll see. But we're looking at. I've got 3 of them for you. I've got three videos for you. Should be fun. To be honest, should be fun, and I think it hits the failure of Darkside Phil right on the head in a lot of ways. To be honest with you, so that's always fun because it is the season of giving, is it not? So, we have 3 videos all brought to us by Burnell, and, holiday cheer, the festivities and all of that, yada, yada, yada. Yet again, hopefully you guys are doing well. Thank you guys for kind of hanging in there. I know it's been a long journey. We're almost there, though, but it's never really about the destination. It's really about the journey to get there, if you will. I don't have any chewing the fat or no TED Talk on this one. Let's just go ahead and slide right into it, and then we'll see what the next 2 days have to offer. Yet again, hopefully you guys are all doing well. As you guys know, sticking to the routine. The first 2 rounds are on me, and then after that, it'll be 25 to 35% off on your next SnortBucks order, as well as don't forget your gift card. That's important. And that's that. Like I said, I wish you guys well, and let's go ahead and get right to it. I'll see you guys in a second.
Time to play the game!
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Android cheered. He says, man, I just can't wait to see what the detractor meme for taking Tuesday off will be. Maybe it's that Phil's flying to Hawaii for a 1-day vacation. Yeah, I mean, that's what they did.
Well, I mean, as you ask, shall you receive. I don't smell no holiday bacon cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the first of 3 videos that will make up Goutmas. All brought to us by Burnell. KO Gaming / DSPGaming. Give me money on Patreon, or there will be no more videos on YouTube. This is from June 28th of 2018. The link, as usual, will be down in the description. Defiant holiday sniff. Here we go.
They literally will make shit up. I think the newest meme of them is that I have another new car. I bought 2 new cars, or my girlfriend has a new car. Like something really fucking stupid that's based off of absolutely no factual information. We only have 1 car here. It's the car I bought last year, and it's probably the last car I'm going to be buying for quite some time, considering no matter what, I'm going to make some tough decisions that are probably going to ruin my credit. So it's like, no matter what I do, thank God I got a good car last year, right? But that being said, yeah, I don't have a new car. People are complete fucking idiots.
Oh, you're gonna get salt, 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 salt. It's, oh, even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
And see, that's one of Phil Burnell's really big weaknesses, to be honest with you. As much as the truth be told, he enjoys people talking about him. He really does. He thrives on that shit. He thrives on negativity. It's the only thing he really lives for. It's the only thing he really has, to be honest with you. As sad as that is. With that being said, one of the big hits against him is he lets little shit bother him if it's not true, supposedly. If it's not true, then he should just go ahead and brush it off. He'll brush it off for like a day or two and try to laugh it up with that fake laugh that he has. But then it starts to eat at him, starts to nag at him. The reason why that is because it forces him into a corner where he may have to actually tell the truth. Or he has to tell another lie to try to combat this supposed lie or what may actually be the truth. So it just makes things more complicated for him. He only wants publicity. He only wants good publicity when he's ready for it. You know what I'm saying? And he'll take bad publicity all day, especially if he can spew that bad publicity on, or if he can spill it over to other people. So that whole DS positive that he tried to start years and years prior was going to fall apart, because if you're a negative piece of shit, right? If you're someone who is perpetually swimming in the abyss of negativity, whether your own or others, how do you bring something positive out of that? How do you bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? From a religious standpoint, he should know what I mean by that, but he's not religious, and which is another pathetic thing that he does, like in the hide behind, like his liking of hiding behind religion and thinking that means anything to anybody, especially on the internet. Very few people care about that, to be honest, especially in his circles. To be honest with you, I could get a bit more brutal about it, but I won't. But let's just say that nothing has really shined upon his fan base from a religious standpoint. Just saying.
Up based on nothing, based on hearsay, based on half information or outdated information. Apparently, from what I'm to understand, because people were telling me about this last night when
just because the information is outdated doesn't make it any less true.
Yeah, I asked about it. I was like, where do these memes come from? Where does this nonsense come from? Right? So basically, I guess what people are saying is, if you look up online at like insurance websites or something, and you search for my girlfriend Kat's name, you'll see that she apparently has a car in her name. Now, first of all, this is how stupid people are. Insurance does not mean you own a car. Dear idiots of the internet, just because you're insured on a car doesn't mean you own the car, stupid. Right now, Kat is insured for my car. She doesn't own the car. She's not on the title. She doesn't pay the payments. She doesn't own it at all. She's just, insured to drive
if I remember
my car.
correctly, wasn't Catherine supposed to be the second income? And she was supposed to help you with the bills, so, that takes some leverage off of you, or it takes some of the responsibility, I should say, off of you. So theoretically, she was paying, or she was at least helping to contribute to that car payment. I'm just throwing it out there, because he's the one who called her the second income. I didn't.
So, I mean, how stupid can you be? If anything, what you may be looking at, if this is true, because I don't know, obviously I don't waste my time with this, is that you're looking at massively outdated information. You're looking at information to something.
Here's what the real skinny is on this. He's not trying to confirm it while he's stuck in a position trying to deny it, because he doesn't want anybody to actually go back and really look. He didn't want anybody to actually dig up Superman. At that time, I think Superman may have only talked to a few people. I know Tevin was one of them. And that was really it. And DSP didn't want to get that story out. You know what I'm saying? Stealing another man's horse is a pretty fucked up thing to do, to be honest with you. They used to hang people back in the day for stuff like that. Just saying. Horse thieves were not looked upon. It's very terrible. Even if the owner of that horse was willing to give that horse up. How do you steal a horse that's about to be free range anyway? I don't know.
That has nothing to fucking do with her present. Same thing, like, apparently people are saying that it still shows that the two BMWs that I had in the past, right? Which are way in the past now. We're talking 5+ years of the... I'm trying to remember. I think it was April of 2012 when I got that first one leased, and I just got, over a year ago, I got rid of the other one. Right? Do you want to play the fucking game?
This is gonna be the whole stream.
But anyway, yeah, so both of those BMWs, apparently on this same website, are also showing, currently in my name, registered to this address in Washington. One of those BMWs never left Connecticut. So that's just to show you how outdated the information is that these people are looking at. It's telling them that I have 2 BMWs, my current car, and apparently another car in Kat's name, all at my house. I'm pretty sure my garage doesn't hold 4 vehicles. But you know what I mean? Let's take any kind of bullshit information that we can get to say something stupid about Phil. It's so dumb. I have one car. It's the car I bought last year. Alright? And that's it. Period.
Oh my god, dude, just shut up. Just shut up and stop whining. Oh, stop scamming people.
And so when Kat's at work, she has the car. I'm at home working, you know? That's the deal. So, complete nonsense. But that's what I mean, like, the hilarious shit that they make up. They literally will take misinformation or half information or a snippet of outdated information and try to turn it into something, to say something negative about me. So I guess what they're saying, again, is that Kat has a new car in her name. Wrong! Because she was at one point insured to drive a car, right? From her past, does not mean she has that fucking car now.
All the salt is so good. So good. My thing is, to be honest, the fact that he needs the negativity. That's the point. He needs the negativity. He thrives on that shit. I mean, to be honest with you, he talked about the low-tier God situation yesterday. Twice, actually. Did it on the Bottom Bitch podcast, and then he did it on the... I think he did it on the Modern Warfare 2 stream, now that I think about it. Because I was listening to Raw DSP, and he had spoken about it towards the end of it. And then he talked about some other nonsense, too. It is what it is. I need to go ahead and check the Piece of Peace VOD and see what Peace thinks about that shit. Or Pop thinks about that shit. But that shit was fucking hilarious. And the thing is, too, actually, let me bring that up. From the Bottom Bitch podcast from yesterday, he said that he went to Low Tier God to inquire on would it be okay if he did a reaction, if he went over the reaction video. I assume the one that June the King did. And Low Tier God basically told him no, don't do it. And to be honest, when DSP ended up explaining it later, I think it was in the Modern Warfare 2 video, where, well, no, I think he said it in the Bottom Bitch podcast too, where he said that, Low Tier God has this reputation of taking shit down or whatever. It kind of gave me the inkling that Low Tier God punked him into not reacting to his video, or the video that was made about him. And I find that kind of hilarious, to be honest with you. I find it kind of hilarious that DSP went to ask him anyway. I don't really understand why he would even care to do so, since DSP likes to spew fair use whenever it gets convenient to him. But the fact that Low Tier God told you no, and you just agreed to do it, one could say, well, he did it out of respect for him. But something tells me just Low Tier God punked him, and was basically like, no, you're not going to do that, so don't, or else. And DSP blinked. And DSP blinked and was like, yes, sir. And ended that. Just something to think about. If you guys haven't listened to yesterday's podcast or to the Modern Warfare 2 stream, take a listen for yourself and tell me what you think. It was from, let's see here. It was from December 22nd of 2022. Our current year of Gout. And let me know what you think. But the way he made it sounded like Low Tier God punked him and told him don't do it. Womp womp.
Now. And she never owned that car to begin with. Stupid. That's not how insurance works. Like I said, because you're insured to drive a car doesn't mean you own the car. Boy, people are dumb.
All I can taste is the saltiness. All right, now that's it, because here we go, the idiots in stream chat. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just going to ban. Why am I toxic?
Shout out to Karl Marx and Spencer. What is it with people doing communist stuff and in the chat? I don't know.
To be $1. A century ago, everyone owned a horse and only the rich have cars. Now everyone owns a car while the rich have horses. It's amazing how the stables have turned.
That's hilarious. Actually, I'm pretty confused right now.
Well, I'm not gonna put that ginormous name. I'm just gonna put Carl up there.
Big Paul Venus, what a name, cheered and says, "What was your favorite superhero? You seem like an Iron Man kind of guy." I was always Wolverine. When I was a kid, I loved Wolverine. He was like the edgy superhero who did violent things back in the 90s. So he was the one that I was big on at that time. I went to a comic book store one day with my parents, and the Wolverine figure was there. And I turned to my mother and father, and I said, "Guys, listen. I want that action figure for my birthday. So, please, what I would ask you, I've never asked you to do this before. We know how rare that figure is. We know we've been to stores endlessly and we've never seen it in the flesh. It's finally here in front of our faces. Please buy the figure now. Hide it from me for whatever, for months until my birthday, and give it to me on my birthday." And so, like, 1 week...
All right, let me cut in. One, just because you just saw it at that one store out of your daily routine and you never saw it at any of the other stores you went to doesn't make it rare. You just didn't know where to look. Womp womp. The fact that he was holding on to that shit into his 20s is crazy. But then again, he was going to Pokemon movies with his dad at 17, which is kind of lame. But then again, when he was a kid, he had like a train set or whatever, and his parents didn't trust him to be able to use it properly. So like they had to supervise him in like the attic or some shit. His whole childhood just sounds fucking weird. Anywho, I think the reason why he gravitates towards Wolverine is because Wolverine is small in stature, but he's respected, he's respected, or he can force you to respect him in a lot of ways. I think that's what it is. I think DSP looks at Wolverine as someone of an oddity, but at the same time, he's someone who commands respect. He's a symbol of strength and masculinity. All the things that DSP doesn't have and doesn't represent. And I think that's why DSP gravitated towards him. Which is, you know, it is what it is when you're a kid, you know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised who you choose to be your heroes, I guess. But I think that's his real reason. Which is ironic in a lot of ways too, because like even from a symbolism standpoint, right? Like DSP could never even live up to an iota of those qualities. Like, you know what I'm saying? DSP is emasculate. He doesn't command respect. It's really hard to respect him. He doesn't carry himself as someone to be respected. If you've ever seen DSP like walk in public, there are plenty of videos out there. He walks with a waddle. You know what I'm saying? He's someone that you stare at curiously. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were to, if not, he's just someone you take a glance at and you'd almost immediately forget him. Except for maybe how odd his shape, his head is shaped. But other than that, he's someone that you kind of look at curiously and it's like, huh. And then you just move on with your day. And I think he hates that. I think he hates the idea that he wasn't the kid, for example, in high school who could walk down the hallway and people were like, "Yo, what's up, Phil? How's it going, Phil? What's up, Phil?" Like, nah, that's not him. He's the guy who, when he walked up to his locker, there was probably some dude talking to his girlfriend at that locker and looked over at him and was like, "Yeah, we'll be a minute." And DSP just sat there and waited quietly. That's how DSP comes across. And on the one day in his miserable fucking life that he decided to maybe stand up for himself, either he got the locker treatment or he got the bathroom toilet treatment. That's just how he carries himself. He doesn't carry himself as someone to be respected. You know what I'm saying? He kind of comes across as just as a slime ball. You know what I'm saying? Like he's someone more likely to scam you. Certainly someone that would lie to you before anything else. It's just it's just the aura that's around him.
2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, they still didn't buy it, right? Week 4, we go back. It's gone. So my birthday came and passed, and guess what? My parents go, "We're very sorry, Philip, but we couldn't find the action figure. I said, I told you to buy the figure. Why don't you listen to me?
Now, there's something else that I want to point out that's kind of ironic. When you think about, like, the Patreon playthroughs, right, or the Patron's Choice, right, or the Viewer's Choice playthroughs, when those things fail, what does DSP usually do? You guys voted for it. I told you guys it wasn't going to do well. I told you guys that, you know, I already have a bunch of games that are similar to this game, and you guys are going to fuck up the flow of everything, and you're not going to want to watch multiple games. I'm going to get burned out. I'm not going to have a good time. You guys did this. Why didn't you listen to me? I told you guys this wasn't going to work out, but it was the goal, and I had to listen to you, but I knew it was going to fail. Same shit. He's been a fucking scumbag, entitled little bitch his entire life. How his parents dealt with that, I'll never know.
No-brainer. All they had to do was buy it then. They could have hidden it forever. I would have never bugged them for it till my birthday. I knew I was going to get it on my birthday. Because they didn't buy it, I didn't get it. I did eventually get it, but it was the second run, and of course now it's a year later. Do you really think that something I wanted a year ago is as valuable as, you know, but then I was already starting to move into other stuff. And yes, I see someone asking in the chat, yes, my parents did have the money to buy it. They were just fucking stupid.
You see how resentful he is, though? His resentment against your own parents. Just what if that's what he would do to his own parents, right? Imagine what pent-up frustration he has for John and Howard. Imagine what, especially Howard, imagine what pent-up frustration he has against Panda. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what pent-up frustration he has against Pro Jared, Rich from Review Tech USA, Keemstar. Like, you've seen glimpses of it, but you haven't seen all of it. You know what I'm saying? Which is weird, because last night, he also said that, he said real men don't hold grudges. You know what I'm saying? That's something little bitch boys do. Right? Or whatever the case may be. I'm a piggy translation. But in actuality, that is, yet again, it's another example of DSP projecting. Because that's exactly what he is. That's exactly who he is. DSP hates everybody. I've said this, like, when I first started doing detractor content. He hates everybody. I think he even hates John in some ways, to be honest. I think he's willing to forget those transgressions if John comes back, but John's never coming back, which I think makes him even more pissed off. And that, since DSP watches detractor content, he knows what John's doing as it pertains to some of his directing, some of his projects or whatever, and he's doing well. And I think that burns DSP even more, because I think, let's call a spade a spade. DSP needed John more than John needed him. I think DSP can't live with that. I think he can't live with that idea. I think DSP looks at it as, I brought you into YouTube. You know what I'm saying? People only know of you because of me. And now, remember, DSP, you're the one in the million. You're the one, you're the exception to the rules. You're the lucky one. But all that's gone now, and everything that came with it. And John is actually making his way in the world in independent films. Who knows where he's going to go? Maybe he'll go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this will be his peak. But either which way, he's making his own way in a medium that you could never really get yourself into, because you couldn't get over yourself and your bullshit. You were more than willing to chase ad revenue on fucking YouTube when Machinima was trying to give you some real opportunities. They were trying to put you as the head, or at least as the face, or maybe even one of the faces of something that they were trying to build as it pertains to their fighting game division, and mainly commentating on tournaments and stuff like that Machinima was looking at going into. Now, why didn't they just go to Maximilian? I don't know. Maybe they did go to Maximilian. Maybe they went to Maximilian, and maybe Max was like, well, hey, this guy DSP did some shit. Maybe if you can get him on board, whatever. Who knows? But because DSP was so worried about fucking ad revenue, we'll never know. We'll never know where they were going to go with that, or whatever the case may be. So he may have fucked up a major deal for himself, and he'll who could say? Who could say what'll happen? I'll try to elaborate more on that situation later. But it's one of those interesting situations that Machinima came to him with. And as Tevin said, he didn't understand. He probably didn't understand the flow of the conversation. So in turn, you know, DSP pissed away an opportunity that he was always looking for. Because DSP has always been trying to find a way to get himself back into the FGC in some way, shape, or form. But he's a single-minded individual. You know what I'm saying? He can't multitask. He can't do multiple things at once. That's why he needs a schedule to be the way it is. That's the reason why it's as rigid as it is, to be honest. Because any pockets or windows that can't be filled will leave him disoriented. That's why he can't, like, look at Call of Duty. Let me keep going back to what happened yesterday. He's terrible in a stressful type of situation where he's vulnerable in multiple angles. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why we hide in the bathroom all the time. That's why, like a rat, he's quick to go ahead and throw himself into a corner. Things like that. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the flexibility or versatility mentally or physically to be able to handle a problem head on or be smart enough to make his calculations on the fly or even really in the long term. And you see that with Street Fighter. And which is the reason why I keep telling you guys, you put pressure on him and he'll crack. The slower he can make the match, or the slower, if he can slow down a match, I should say, excuse me, if he can slow down a match, it allows him to have more time to think. Which means, and also gives him a false sense of security, because now he thinks that his opponent has no more moves, has no real idea, and then, you know, when in doubt, random super come out, and all this other ridiculous nonsense, and these Hail Marys, and all those other bullshit terms that he has and he uses that make no real sense. Especially when you hear him mashing, when you hear him trying to get his supers out, that's not execution. That's panic. Even when he's in a position to actually do those supers, or whatever the case may be, there's still a level of panic there. There's a level of hesitation. So, just something to take in mind. Or keep in mind.
Pretty much my best and most profitable month streaming ever. And you guys have been incredibly supportive on the streams. People have come out and cheered, sub, tipped constantly. You guys have been very huge supporters of mine on the streams. Sadly, on YouTube, things have fallen apart. As you guys know, DSPGaming is demonetized. I just checked KO Gaming because I was curious. Okay, you know, for about a week I've been uploading videos to KO Gaming. How's the channel doing? No exaggeration. It's making about $10 a day.
Oh, a lot of money.
This is a carryover from last Goutmas episode, our 4th day of Goutmas. So you're kind of getting to see how it all played out a week later. Which I had already told you. He was making about $10 a day, give or take. The videos weren't hitting, to be honest. He cut himself short. Which is just another one of those tomes of the vortex. Is that when things don't go right for DSP in a certain situation, he'll bash the shit out of it and then he'll abandon it. Then when he needs to come back to it, he'll be like, well, why doesn't it work? Well, because you didn't put no time or effort into it. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It still exists. So it should just be able to do what I want it to do when I need it to do it. Nah, son. Nah, son.
Okay, and that's me uploading all of my current gameplay. It's only making $10 a day. And, you know, that's various reasons. Number one, because it's only my new gameplay. It's not all of the gameplay that used to be on DSPGaming. Remember, 40,000 videos of backlog that people watch on demand daily that I'm not getting paid for anymore. That's number one.
Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah.
Number two, because many people who watch the videos on DSPGaming have not made the transition to KO Gaming yet. I mean, I think eventually they will, but it's just a combination of those two factors. You know, I've gone from having YouTube itself, DSPGaming in particular, be a giant chunk. I mean, someone's 40% of my overall income to being $10 a day. That's not good. That's god-awful. Now, here's the thing. I could appeal to you guys and gals on the stream and say, oh, you know, please be generous if you can.
I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life.
I mean, but the thing is, you guys have already been so generous. Like I said, this has been the best streaming month for me when it comes to your contributions on streams. And, you know, even though, yes, I will obviously appeal and say if you can help, you know, please do. I always appreciate it if you do things like tip me on a stream or sub or pledge to my Patreon, etc. Those things help. But, what I can say is I think really in particular what needs to happen
is that there needs to be a wake-up call to the people who are watching me on YouTube.
And the reason I say that is if you take a look at KO Gaming, right now, pretty much every video on KO Gaming is roughly getting about 1,000 views on average. Any video I upload over there is getting about 1,000 views. I mean, hell, the pre-streams are getting over 1,000 views.
Views, views, views. I don't want to be Mr. Views.
Which they never used to do on DSPGaming, okay? So what I think is this. You know, quite frankly, those who watch my videos on YouTube take them for granted. They say, oh man, Phil's been here for 10 years. You know, Phil's going to be around no matter what. He's been through highs and lows. He's been through ups and downs. And no matter what, Phil's just going to be here. So I don't need to do anything. I'll just keep watching the videos. And I think that's the wrong attitude. You guys here on stream see.
Now keep in mind, he's saying that he has more views on his content on KO Gaming than he used to have on DSPGaming. So there's theoretically more people supporting him on KO Gaming than there was on DSPGaming, despite his bullshit about his back catalog and yada yada yada. And yet he feels like he's being taken advantage of. He feels like he's being underappreciated or undervalued and mistreated. Imagine that. Imagine the scumbag who got himself booted out of monetization, who ran over the Twitch after crying, complaining for like 2+ years, if not damn near 3, that he wasn't going to. It was for sellouts and shills. You know what I'm saying? But the moment there was other ways of monetizing, went over there and got started, begging for, almost demanding people to give him money on Patreon. Now he's like, hey, because you guys aren't giving me ad revenue, you guys are taking advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? Even though the reason why KO Gaming's only making $10 a day is because he abandoned it. He's the one who picked up and left on it. No one else. Womp womp.
Right? You don't just watch the gameplay. You hear on the pre-stream how I'm doing. You know, you can hear me, you know, personally in the videos. I talk about this stuff with you guys, and you know how incredibly grateful I am when you guys contribute, right? I think the people who watch on YouTube don't really see that. They feel disconnected, and therefore, oh, these videos will be here no matter what. And I think what needs to happen is we need to have a change here, where people who are going to continue to watch on YouTube need to step up.
Let the green roll in. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills. Holy fucking shit. Relax. Some people just can't control themselves. And in particular, I mean, the one way that they can really do that is via pledging to my Patreon. I mean, how is it that every video that I'm putting up on KO Gaming right now, okay, is getting over 1,000 views, but I have under 200 patrons? My content is free.
You see what I mean? Like, I could understand if you're an avid stream viewer, all right, you guys are here and you're already contributing. Of course I wouldn't expect you to then go over to Patreon and pledge too. You guys want to have interactivity on the streams, right? You want to cheer, sub, or tip to get that shout out. You want to get the recognition during the live stream. That you guys are a group of people who are here live and you want that live interaction. That's your focus. I get that. But what I think is happening is the people on YouTube literally are just taking for granted the fact that they think I'm just going to be here every day no matter what, and they don't understand that this is basically do or die time at this point. So what I'm going to do...
Now, keep in mind, this is the same person who says, no matter what the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics do, no matter what the big, rich YouTubers say or do to him or whatever, say about him, he will be here no matter what. Every day, he will continue to contribute, doing what he's passionate... Sorry, let's reword that. He's going to continue to be here and do what he's passionate about and putting out the quality content that he's known for. Bullshit. Such bullshit. Anywho, no matter what, he's told you this thousands upon thousands of times. But yet, right here, essentially he's putting his content behind a paywall. He's like, hey, if you're not on my streams giving me money, then you better be on Patreon giving me money. Because if not, you know, something might have to happen. You guys need to step the fuck up. That's wild. That's absolutely wild.
I'm going to make a special video at the end of the stream once I'm offline for the people who watch only on YouTube. I'm going to upload it both to DSPGaming and to KO Gaming, and I'm basically going to say, listen guys, you know, this is real talk. This is it.
Give me your money.
Like, a week now, I have no ads on DSPGaming. I made no money. I made $10 a day, you know. This is not going to work. I can't pay my bills like this, and I'm going to basically have to take drastic measures, you know. If that means that I just don't upload videos to YouTube anymore, and I become a 100% full-time streamer, so now I can do more interactive stream events and actually have the copywritten music in the streams, and then I can go ahead and you know, do these sponsored streams all the time or whatever. I mean, if I have to do what I have to do to keep going, you know what I mean? So if I can't get enough support from those who watch the videos on demand to keep putting out the videos on demand, then I might have to make a drastic change. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, how long people have watched me on YouTube, and they all, you know, basically say, please keep uploading to YouTube, but then I need that support on YouTube. You see what I mean? They need to step up.
My content is free.
So we'll see what happens. You know, what sucks here is YouTube will not take any action. It would be one thing if YouTube would come out and say, okay, we've denied your appeal of your AdSense account. It's over. Fine. At least now I know. But this horse shit of, you know, really stupid, oh, well, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, and we just got to sit on our hands until we get some kind of a response out of the AdSense team. So what, I'll wait 4 fucking months, and then they give me an automated response and finally say we denied it? I really get the feeling they're just never going to respond. Like, the thing is, the AdSense account, this DSPGaming associated AdSense account that is suspended, was suspended at some point during the last year and a half when I was partnered with Curse. I don't even know when. So it could be a point where, you know, they consider it a closed issue, and even though supposedly creator support forwarded the information to the right parties, they just don't care and they're never going to respond, right? I think that's,
you know,
just...
there's this thing that they say when they talk about the mythos of Pandora's box, right? That out of all the calamities and everything else that came out of it, some people say that the one gift that came out of it was hope, the concept of hope. But a lot of people feel that it's probably the worst of all of the calamities and curses and everything that came out of it, because for a lot of people, they'll give up everything in the hopes that shit just gets better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people will lose the will to just continue to move forward and do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Or do what they can do, if you will. And just sit back and hope. Just sit back and hope that things will just work out. And that's not how life works. And so, either we have a very strong misunderstanding of what hope is, or it very much is the curse. It's very much a way of keeping people complacent, keeping people off balance, and only perpetuates, at least in DSP's case, I should say, even more laziness, even more sloth, and it's the reason why he's not willing to do anything, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Just like when people were stringing him along on Twitter, that they'll make big donations or they'll spend $6,000 or whatever it is on statues or whatever the case may be. And he kind of went through the motions of everything else, but he was just hoping for that big payday and never really did anything to try to better his position because we're hoping for that big payday. Just something to think about. There's a concept.
Bad, you know. So, in this regard, I think I basically just got to give people a wake-up call and say, listen, I love you guys. You guys on YouTube made me who I am, but at this point, it's do or die. It's either you guys step up and help with a contribution by pledging to my Patreon.
I need that money to pay my bills. I need your help. What I'm actually really hoping, too, is that I can get a lot of money.
Phil, all the stuff you're saying is not going to help you. Or I don't know how else I'm going to be doing this for a living, and it's all going to end, you know? I may have to go all in on Twitch as just a Twitch streamer, that's it. Or I might have to seek other venues, in which case you will have no videos anymore, you know? So, it's one or the other, you know? It's not, you can't have it both ways. You can't just say, oh, well, I think Phil's going to be okay from now on. And I think that's kind of how everyone on YouTube has been. You know, you guys on streams are the opposite. You guys who've been on the streams have been so tremendously positive and supportive and amazing, I can't ask more of you. You guys know what's going on with me. You guys know what a dire situation this is. You guys know how worried I am. That I want to keep doing this and what horseshit this is, you know? So, and I appreciate that you guys know that, you know? I can tell from the things you say and do, the way you're supportive on the streams, those who do step up and are able to contribute. I know you guys are amazingly positive, and I could not ask more from those who are here live with me every single day.
What a grease scumbag. Something else I want you to take into account, too. Back then, I think he was compartmentalizing how the money was split up. Let me give you an example. Patreon and YouTube help with his regular bills, right? And then for whatever little additives that he wanted. But when he started to see the type of money that was being contributed on on Twitch, he looked at that as a whole separate income. That was his personal piggy bank. That was his slush fund, if you will. That was his fuck around money that he can do whatever the fuck he wants with, and no one really needs to know about it as long as YouTube and Patreon comes through and pays his regular bills. I honestly think that's how he had it all mapped out in his head. And as long as nothing encroached upon the Twitch money, then everything was essentially gravy. And I think that's the reason why he went ahead and implemented all these things, all these tactics, if you will, to get things to go the way he wanted them to go. As 2018 plays out, you see more of it. To be honest, you see a lot more of it. But it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And then when you run back to that bankruptcy, in 2020 and whatnot, after you hear about all of his begging and how he was trying to get people to really prop up YouTube, and yet he wasn't really giving out enough incentives on Patreon, you can kind of understand why. I think you can see why the money fucked itself up the way it did, to be honest. I honestly think that's what the case was. I really do. Because when YouTube was still okay-ish, right? He was still pushing Patreon hard, talking about he needed it for his bills, so on and so forth. So how much of the YouTube money, I would assume a large part of the YouTube money, to be honest, was going towards bills, but whatever extra outside of that, plus Patreon, was fun money, if you will. And you can, make your assumptions on that. I mean, shit, yesterday he exposed himself when he presented all the different alcohols that he had, all the different liquor that he has for the holiday event, the Christmas event mainly, especially that orange liqueur. He had gotten himself pretty good in that. Like he had a pretty good tasting of that one. And ironically enough, which seems strange too that he's doing this, why do you have all that liquor upstairs? Why isn't that liquor downstairs? Are you not sharing that with Kat? Does Kat even know that you bought it? Because all of it is basically propped up in a bag in front of his closet. Why would you do that? And then another thing too that really don't make no sense to me. Not that I'm a big connoisseur or anything, but I enjoy my spirits. Why the hell are you opening up bottles that you're not planning on drinking from that moment? Like, why would you do that? There's all kinds of theories on, especially things that have a high concentration of sugar, and whatever the case may be, on how that can affect liquor over a period of time or whatever. We're not going to get into all of that, because that's something that even I want to learn more about. But I do know this. I don't crack open bottles of anything until I'm actually ready to drink it. That's just me. But yet he opened everything up like a child, like a kid. You know what I'm saying? That's just, oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that until you're ready to actually purchase the damn thing? I don't know. But anyway, he definitely got himself into that orange liqueur, though. He definitely had his fair share. And then last night he seemed like he was a bit inebriated too. I don't know. It's just speculation. But yet again, why is that bag upstairs in your office, damn near in front of the closet? Why are you hiding that from Kat? Are you hiding that from Kat? I mean, she don't go shopping with him. So, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Motherfucker! Let's hear it. I can't do it anymore. My throat's so fucked up.
Ben Boxer Charity says, well, you'll build up a library of uploads and we'll make more than $10 in the future, surely. Well, absolutely, Ben Boxer, but in the future. Let me give you an example. DSPGaming's been in operation for 8 years. It took me 8 freaking years to build up enough videos on that channel so that I would get about, I mean, real talk, it's probably about 80% of the profit I made on DSP Gaming Daily were older videos, and probably about 20% was whatever new I put out. The only time there would be an exception is if it was a hot new release, then obviously more people would come to watch that. But on a slow day, especially during the summer now, more people would come to DSP Gaming to watch the old videos than the new videos, So, That's the problem I'm having. I mean, I can't go making next to no money, $10 a day on YouTube for the next 10 years before I start making money on KO Gaming. You see what I mean? So something has to give, something has to change to make this keep going. All right?
McDonald's.
Baby Jim Bob Cheerden says, I know it sucks, but maybe people on YouTube can't pledge or just plain don't want to. I don't have all the answers. It would seem logical you should just transition to focusing solely on Twitch. As much as I want to do that, Baby Jim Bob, there's no guarantee that it's going to work. So I do want to give a last kind of chance, ditch effort, last chance, last ditch effort to try to get people who watch my stuff on YouTube to understand the real reality of the situation and contribute at this point. Because I'm going to tell them, I'm going to say, listen, look at the videos on KO Gaming. 1,000 views per video, less than 200 patrons. Something doesn't jive here. You know what I mean? I mean, even if half the people watching the videos on KO Gaming were patrons, even at the lowest possible level, it would help tremendously.
This kind of shit needs to come out. This kind of shit needs to be exposed for what it is. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control in this situation. The problem is no one's stepping up. They're just, again, they're taking it for granted. They think Phil's just going to upload to YouTube anyway, so I don't care. Right?
And here's the funny part, too. He's not even really acknowledging how small the actual fan base or the viewer base is. That's another thing that he's not really dwindling on. Or, sorry, he's not really going over how dwindling the viewer base and fan base is, right? That's why he keeps focusing on the 1,000 views on each video, which most of those people probably aren't even subscribed to the channel. Probably not even fans of his, to be honest. That's why he's focusing on those 1,000 viewers and thinking, well, shit, why can't 500 of you, 700 of you be actual, contributors to Patreon? That's all he's looking at. He's not looking at the idea of, why do I only have 1,000 people watching? Why isn't it 3,000 people? Why isn't it 5,000 people? Because now he has to put more pressure on Twitch. Now he has to put more pressure on the Twitch viewers. All of you guys are here watching me all day, but you guys can't, go ahead and just binge through my playthrough so I can get additional ad revenue. Or you guys can't contribute to my Patreon because I'm already bleeding you on Twitch. Yet again, it's the concept of trying to get new blood in and get them assimilated. And they're not going for it. And they're not going for it quick enough for him. Because yet again, DSP is all about short-term gains, right? He doesn't think about in the long term. That's future Phil's problem. You know what I'm saying? Right now, current Phil needs this issue to be taken care of right away. So this way, when he spends his money on whatever, you know what I'm saying, he can feel okay about it, if you will. It's really, really odd.
Guess what? I think it's time to do or die, because this is the end. This is the end of all of that. 10 years on YouTube will end if we can't get a solution here. All right. Phil's just one of the worst e-beggars. Disgusting beggar.
So I gotta lay down the law. I have to. I'm not gonna be a jerk, and I'm not gonna be angry about it. But I'm gonna say, listen, this is just the reality, and so, please, hopefully, please, if you can't help, please do. Android just cheered. He says, you have been giving the YouTube viewers fun quality content for 10 years. They become so accustomed to it, they think it will never end. I mean, I have to say, I get the feeling that a lot of people, that's it. They don't probably, a lot of them are shocked. Like, they probably, maybe they don't even check out DSPGaming during the summer, and they're going to come back in the fall and be like, what the hell happened to this channel, right? But they'll just assume it's just going to keep continuing. That's what I mean. Like, if you love the content creator, you've got to support them. It's one thing if it's a ginormous content creator who gets millions of views and doesn't actually need your support. It's a difference when it's someone like me who, look what's happened to me over the years, and now, the worst case scenario is coming to fruition here, and I really love what I do, and I want to keep doing it.
I love begging. I don't want to be another one of these sad stories of the internet, someone who had much popularity, and because of all kinds of bullshit going on, they had to fade away. I want to keep doing this. I love it. You love it, right? And the bottom line is, I don't know of another way out. I really don't. I don't know of another way out. McDonald's has now accepted my job application because I can't get another job that would pay as much as this. I just can't.
If I got Phil goes and works at some fucking store somewhere or whatever, making 1/3, 1/4 of what he was making on YouTube / Twitch, I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to support myself. I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna have insanely bad credit. Everything's gonna.
And keep in mind, he's talking about supporting himself, but Catherine's there too. So it's yet again another example. Now he wants to throw out that family angle and all that bullshit, but right here, when he's going through this massive begging, he's only begging for himself. Catherine lives there too. And she apparently has one of these little rinky-dink jobs at the store that he just shitted on and whatnot, and yet she's contributing. At first, she was contributing what she could. Then she started giving half. Then she was giving like 3/4 of her income. And he was shaming his audience, too, at that time. He was like, you know, she's contributing everything, and she's still giving more. And I was like, wait a second, you need money for yourself? You still got old bills from your old life and everything like that? No, but I love you here. I love you, and I love our new life that we have here, and I'm willing to do anything to keep it. And he's like, okay. And then he went back to his audience and shitted on them, like, look at what my soulmate is doing, and yet you guys aren't contributing enough. What the fuck? What a scumbag.
Be taken from me. I'm probably gonna lose my house. That's horrible. For what? For what did I do wrong to lose my fucking house? Because YouTube fucked up, right? Because YouTube and Google fuck everything up because they're a terrible company. Now I lose everything. You know, that's horseshit.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
And I know that the thing is, I know that we can get through it. I'm feeling very positive about it. I know we can get through it, but it just has to be, there has to be a shock to the system. You know what I mean? DJ Bruno Charity said, would it make sense if you also set up a cheer goal? You cannot do that. Cheer goals are not allowed. From what I'm to understand, I was explained that by my partner manager several months ago. He basically said, you can set up tip goals, okay? You can have a tip goal for every stream. And you could do sub goals, but you cannot do cheer goals, because then it would be considered cheers would be being interpreted as currency, which they are not. Cheers are not currency.
Now, don't listen to that bullshit, because when he finally ended up leaving Twitch, like at the very end, you know what I'm saying? At the very end, when he was gone from Twitch, right? When they finally demonetized him and whatnot, he ain't sat there and spilt the beans on how, you know, cheers work. Now, granted, we already knew, so it doesn't matter. But he was like, oh, they told us not to tell us this, but I'm not over there anymore, and immediately burned his bridge. Which is another dumbass thing that he does. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, clearly, you need the money that Twitch offers. Yeah, right? You need that monetization. You need either that affiliate or partnership, or that partnered, whatever. And yet, burnt that bridge out of pure spite. Out of pure reaction.
Remember I said that? They're not currency, okay? And, you know, so that's why you can't do those.
But I'm going to be very upfront and honest with you guys. I need your help. If you guys want to continue to see me upload videos to YouTube, at this point, since I'm making no money whatsoever on DSPGaming, and I'm making almost nothing on KO Gaming, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment, I need you to help support everything, all right? But what I'm kind of telling you guys now is I need to make a living, and I'm making nothing on the YouTube videos. So what this means is that I need you guys who are avid watchers, who are longtime fans of mine, and who love my YouTube content to please step up and support the effort. How? The primary way you can is to go to my Patreon. Pledge today. As little as $1 helps, okay? $1 a month actually helps and adds up, all right?
I'll be honest with you guys. I've been looking at a few
options. You know another thing I always wondered about? I wonder what Kat thought of all this begging that he was doing online. I wonder what she thought about it before she reached out to him. I wonder what she thinks about it now. Well, we know what she thinks about it now. She's always downstairs crying whenever someone brings up his jerk-off video, or she was crying when he lost his partnership on Twitch. She just cries over a lot of shit. But yet again, that only reinforces. What did she think about his early begging, or all that begging that was going on when their relationship first started after she moved in? What did she think of all his begging before she moved in? It's almost like she knew she was walking into a bad situation. Or at least she should have, anyway.
Alright, and one of the options I'm looking at is just becoming a full-time Twitch streamer and just abandoning YouTube completely. Because if I'm making $10 a day, the work that it takes to upload the videos to YouTube and babysit them and make sure that they're in playlists and then tweet out when the stuff is live and all that, is it worth it for $10 a day? When instead, I could be focusing exclusively on my Twitch streams. I don't have to worry about copywritten music and just put out the Twitch streams daily with whatever music is on them, right? Because I don't have to worry about copyright or content ID on YouTube. I could do special stream-only events instead I'm not recording locally ever anymore. If I only do streams on Twitch, I can now play PC games on my PC on Twitch. See what I mean? There's a lot of benefits if I were to become a 100% full-time Twitch streamer. Now, I'm not saying that...
Evil chuckle on my end. So, in 2018, we could play PC games, right? You know, if we don't have to worry about uploading to YouTube anymore. PC games are in 2022. Oh, I can't do it now. Yeah, I can't do it. My PC's not strong enough to run it. It's not possible. Can't happen. Doubtful sniff. It's not good. It's not a thing. Now, granted, because this idiot runs the PC 24/7 and did it for multiple years, you could make the argument, well, hey, GTG, he had a reason for that shit. But he really don't. He really don't. It was yet again just the proverbial gouty carrot that he was dangling in front of these idiots to have them yet again continue to buy in on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of nuts, because it's almost like he wants the Twitch audience to ramp up the contributions that he says he's already grateful for. Right? Oh shit, DSP does PC games now? He's gonna be a PC gamer? Oh shit, maybe he'll actually play Fight K and get his ass handed to him? Nope. But anyway, do you think he'll actually play PC games now? Maybe, do more independent games or whatever? Oh shit, that's dope. Maybe I'll throw some more money on the next stream. But then he's sitting here telling the YouTube audience, hey, look at everything that you're missing. Look at everything that you could have a chance to participate in. You could either come to the streams or contribute to my Patreon so you can still see it on YouTube. Yes, you can't comment on my videos. That's because of the asshole trolls. But if you're giving me money on my Patreon, you know that those videos will be there for you every single day. Even if you can't, even if you can't interact with that video. But maybe that'll give you even more reason to come to my Twitch. You see how, like, the Gouty circle, if you will, works out? Womp womp.
That's what I want to do, but if I may have to do it, I may have to do it. If you want to see me keep uploading to YouTube right now, since it looks like there's really slim to no chance that DSPGaming is going to get its advertisements back, I need you to pledge to my Patreon. Now, there are other ways you can contribute too. You could go to my Teespring shop and buy, a t-shirt or something. That helps out. Or, even if you don't attend the streams, I do have a tips page where you can lend me a tip.
I need you guys to step it up and please pledge to my Patreon, or else that's going to be it for YouTube. The thing is, like, I've been around for so long and so much shit has happened that, like, I'm pretty sure I could survive anything at this point. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, I've learned that I don't do stupid shit anymore. That's the good news, is I don't do the dumb shit that I used to do back in the day when it was the Wild West and everything was considered fair game on stream, or not on stream, excuse me, on YouTube, not on stream, on YouTube. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. No matter what, I find a way. I find a way to survive. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God, I wish I fucking was.
Well, there you go. In a lot of ways, his survivability kind of came back to bite him in the ass there. Isn't it ironic? Anywho, let's take a small break. I will start the second video, and I will see you in just a second. Oh no! I wasn't supposed to do that. Help!
I just don't understand it. Instead of feeling happy, I feel sort of let down. I know how you feel about all this Christmas business, getting depressed and all that. It happens to me every year.
This is how I play the game!
Sound good?
And this year in particular is my 10th anniversary.
10 years strong and still going. In mid-20...
Holy shit, we had all kinds of malfunctions there. My bad. My apologies. Damn. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the second video that'll make up, excuse me, our third day of Goutmas, brought to us by Snort Burnell. Let's see here. Here we go. DSP. Salty Toxic Tears. This is from January 12th of 2018. The link will be down in the description. Oh my. I'm sure I jumped back like this for a reason. Alright, here we go.
16, I accidentally streamed myself masturbating. But I digress. Despite all the negativity and all the shit thrown at me over the years, 10 years strong and still going.
He was the guy that got caught masturbating in front of children.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him? Is he the one that got caught?
Yes!
Really?
That's right, I'm a huge pervert, guys. That's all I do. I just masturbate constantly in front of children.
But
on purpose. That I publicly admitted was a mistake. Like, it's a big deal, because it's not. I got completely exposed. I am proud of this. I hope you guys are proud of this, too. Okay, you know, you are very much a part of this process of me still being here. Obviously. If it wasn't for you guys being positive and supporting me, I would not be here. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you. Really, thank you. Shout outs!
Shout out to Zasaki, who gave me $1 tip.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
And said, I saw some hate videos on YouTube from you recently, about you recently, not from me, but about me. These videos make you look like the worst person in the world, but when I see you streaming, you're actually a cool guy.
What a complete idiot.
I don't know if I didn't know you, I would probably dislike you too because of these videos on YouTube. Why so much hate? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you. This started years ago when I was a very different person. Years and years ago, and we're talking, years of maybe 2010 to 2012, 2013. I was a very obstinate person. I wouldn't listen to feedback. I would not listen to criticism. I basically felt that since...
He still don't! He still don't! Even now, he says, oh, well, I listen to criticism as long as it's constructive criticism. If you try to criticize me, and then you throw an insult at the end, who's going to pay attention to that? Why would I listen to that? But yet, that's exactly what he does. Sometimes. Like 20% of the time. The other 80%, he's just spewing garbage. But, you know what I'm saying? Yet again, he hasn't changed. He can't take criticism for shit. Don't even try to insult him at the end of whatever your criticism is. Just start off. Lead off with, hey, you're doing this wrong, Phil, and then go ahead and go into what your criticism is. He'll disregard it just that quickly. He can't handle it. He can't handle the idea of someone telling him you're doing something wrong, you said something wrong, you're the problem in a situation. He can't deal. He can't deal.
I was successful on YouTube, that I was above criticism in a lot of ways, and that I was doing everything right, and if anything ever went wrong, it wasn't my fault, it was because of other stuff going on around me. Now, the bottom line, folks, is some of that was true. There was a lot of circumstances around YouTube during those years that did actually negatively affect myself and my business, but at the same time, when you have an attitude like that, you're going to obviously attract negativity. In addition, back then, when I used to do gameplay, I used to basically do whatever goes. Throw in, play games willy-nilly, don't respect them. If I'm playing a game and something goes wrong, insult the game developers. And not to say that I don't do that now, because if there is a game that pisses me off because something's badly implemented in a game, I will be very vocal about it in the modern era. But back then, it used to be a running gag where nothing ever was my fault. I never sucked at a game. It was the game developer's fault. Insult the game developer, insult the game, etc., etc., etc. All right. So basically, from 2008 to 2012, that was my running gimmick on YouTube, and people loved it. They thought it was funny.
It wasn't a gimmick. It was what it's who he really was. No one can go back and look at some of this, even some of this old shit here, and believe any of the pig shit that he's spewing at you. It's not feasible. It's not feasible. That's how you know a lot of those things are like, a lot of these cheers and everything back then, even now, are like troll cheers. Oh, well, I used to watch the tractor content, but now that I've seen your stuff, I've seen the light. Yeah, sure you have. Sure you have. I doubt every person who's ever said that. And give them a couple weeks, and it turns into just troll activity that they're participating in anyway. The fact that he keeps falling for it is kind of sad. But for everybody else, it's just amusing. It's Tuesday.
Hilarious that this was a guy who was so irreverent. He would be just basically a Joe gamer who was above reproach. He would just, basically blame everyone else for what he did wrong on YouTube. And people thought it was a running shtick. It was funny, and people loved my videos. All of a sudden, in 2012, when I started playing games like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, alright, and when I played these games, I basically had the same attitude. People completely flipped. Like, the attitude against me flipped on YouTube. And what it became then was, oh, well, Phil's not a good gamer. Phil doesn't deserve any positivity or success on YouTube because he's not good. Look, he plays Metal Gear. He's terrible at it. He doesn't even try to learn the controls. He makes fun of Kojima constantly. So let's make fun of him. And so what happened is this viral movement against me where people would take all my playthroughs, which purposely, at that time, the playthroughs sometimes were bad because I didn't care about the games. I wasn't playing games seriously. I was just fucking around and doing these silly playthroughs for the fact of playing it in an obstinate manner. And they would make these montages basically saying, oh, Phil's the worst gamer ever. Look, here's some nasty comments about him that people insulted him. And basically turned what was a very positive thing on YouTube into an incredibly negative thing. Now, over the years, this just snowballed, all right?
Now, see, he's a complete and total idiot, because even his explanation doesn't make sense. I purposely fucked up games on purpose, right, for the entertainment value. You know what I'm saying? Or I said these things about people because I was really mad at it. But then, on the other hand, it was also supposed to be for entertainment. You're telling me one montage sat there and fucked your whole world up. Think about how stupid that sounds. And also think about the context that I'm saying this in. You let one montage fuck your world up. Instead of rolling with the punches and playing into it, right? You ain't let your whole world get fucked up. To the point where you ain't sat there and accused the creator of that montage, Evil AJ, of wanting to come to your fucking house and try to murder you. When you were sitting there trying to find out who these people were so you could dox them. So you could run around and try to take YouTube channels down and take videos down. This is how you don't play, mentally fuck you up like that. And so now, let's go ahead and move to something a bit current. Look at Nadia from fucking Call of Duty and shit, right? Well, supposedly she wants to quit now. And she wants to just do IRL shit. Because now all the heat from her doxing that one guy and come back on her. And now all of a sudden she don't want to play no more. Which actually means someone ain't sat there and reached out to her family. And they ain't touched them in a way that she wasn't expecting. They've encroached on her life in a way that she didn't think could happen. Now she's got a problem. Which I told you was going to happen, by the way. Mark my words on that one. So now she wants to go to IRL shit. When she first started off, she tried to say she was the best female player in the world and all that bullshit. Obvious fake gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Obvious aimbot, all that bullshit. Then she got mad, and not mad. Then she tried to play into the whole, oh, well, the only reason why all these gamers are calling me out is because they're sexist. Right? She tried to play the feminist angle, which really fucked her over. Like, whoever it was that was in her ear shouldn't have told her to do that. She should have just kept playing into she's the best female player, and then say she's the best player, someone prove her wrong. She should have did that angle instead of going into the feminist into the ranks of feminism. Instead she fucked herself, and that's the reason why she's at where she's at now. Anywho, she made a bad decision. She initially started off just playing into the hate, people calling her a cheater, yada, 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 and kept producing more gameplay that more people watched, that she made more money off of, and continued to further her name. But when she got into the feminist nonsense, that fucked her. That fucked her royally. I don't even think she's smart enough to see that yet. So then, she played that angle, she eventually drops it, but by then, she's got all these male gamers around her. It made her look like a hypocrite. How are you going to sit there and game with the same people, some of them anyway, who questioned your gameplay in the first place? How stupid are you? And then more importantly than that, why aren't you playing with more female gamers? There are plenty of women in the female Call of Duty sphere. Why aren't you gaming with them? No, you went ahead and crowned yourself queen, right? And then moved along with it, talking all that bullshit about, oh, I want to be a positive role model for female gamers. Nah, you were no different than 5x5. And ironically enough, no one actually brings this up, sadly, because 5x5 has been kind of tossed by the wayside. Womp womp. That if 5x5 wasn't caught cheating herself, she would have eventually been Nadia. She would have eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nadia just took her place. And so someone should tell Nadia, if she don't already know, that sooner or later, another female will come through with actual credibility, right? Who actually knows how to conduct herself when it comes to criticism or whatever the case may be, and doesn't try to latch herself onto certain movements or whatever to give herself, to prop herself up, right? That will eventually dethrone her. Because there's so much proof against Nadia, she can't even fight it. She really can't. And then if it's true that she's really going to step away from Call of Duty to move into vlogging, yeah, she can come back. But people will just sit there and call her a doxer and a quitter, and she'll pretty much be from square one. And Swag can't carry you, because Swag's having his own problems right now. He's not. His last LAN performance was kind of shitty. Now people are starting to go back into his old tournament results and start to go ahead and dissect all of those, all of that gameplay, I should say. He's got his own problems, especially when, you know, you guys are supposed to be called Nuke House, and how many nukes have you guys actually dropped? So, you know what I'm saying? She played the situation wrong. She played the situation horribly. And it's going to come back on her in a big way, because she thinks if she goes to vlogging, she can step up and off of this bullshit. Like, right? It's kind of like, oh, I'll just give myself a break, and then you guys will eventually forget, and then I'll come back. The internet don't forget. The internet doesn't forget. So it'll be interesting to see how she ends up trying to play that up, if anything. But same thing with DSP. Like, just really poor logic that was being used. Very poor decision making, and they let the smallest shit bother them, right? All the eyes that are on you two, right? All the people who want to see you two fall, right? All the people who know you for what you are, and you just kept, you know, stoking the fire essentially, and then eventually it ended up engulfing them. The only difference is DSP can't give this up. Nadia really can't give this up because she don't have anything really to go to outside of this, to be honest. And then some of the bullshit she's done will follow her no matter where she goes. Some people just aren't built for the internet. Some people are just not built for popularity, to be honest. Some people just can't handle it. You know, there are people that you've seen who've blown up big on YouTube and they just couldn't deal with the pressure. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the hate. It wasn't, I mean, shit, really the positivity bothered them. You know what I mean? Like imagine you having hundreds of thousands of people show up to your channel every day waiting for that new video. And if that new video's out, they go to your old video and say, love your videos. I hope, when's the next one coming out? Hopefully it's coming out soon. They're flooding your fucking social media or whatever the case may be. And maybe you're just going through a creative block. Maybe you're just tired or exhausted, if you will. Maybe you're just fucking having anxiety because you just can't handle all these people waiting for you to say something or to do something. You know what I mean? So there's a double-edged sword on no matter how you look at it. It just happens to be the bloodier side of that sword or of that battle axe or whatever your weapon of choice is what people focus on. Because there are way more people who ain't fucked around and screwed themselves up on this popularity shit on the internet than you know, the former. So keep that in mind.
Sadly, as these negative videos kept coming out about me, they became popular, and they became virally popular, to the point where people realized, wow, not only is Phil an easy target, because Phil isn't necessarily, he's not sponsored by anyone, he's not big enough on YouTube to be immune to this criticism. If we keep doing this, we can actually, like, directly hurt him, and we could get popularity by doing it as well. We will get viral views.
Also, I want you to peep his thought process in all this. He's not big enough to be criticized. Everybody on YouTube can get it. It's free smoke. It's free smoke. People have built up channels on going after more popular people than, you know what I'm saying? People always do that. People have always done that. People always will do that. Whether they're YouTube celebrities, they're internet celebrities, whether they're real celebrities. Anybody's open to criticism. Why wouldn't they be? But he believes, oh, well, if I have the money or if I have enough clout, I can be immune to that. You're not immune to shit. Think you're immune to anything and watch how far someone else is willing to go to prove otherwise. That's all the internet is. It's one giant gladiator pit in a lot of ways. And there's a big difference between being the person up in the stands, up in the Raptors, if you will, reporting on what's going on in the arena, and then you actually being in the arena. And that's what it really comes down to. DSP made these enemies out of all these people. And he went from thinking he was the actual emperor, waiting to execute people, to actually having to be out there fighting himself. And wondering to himself, how the hell did I get here? What the fuck did I do? I thought I was the fucking man. I thought everybody loved me. Nah, the mob don't love you. Nah, the mob don't love you. They just love what you're doing at that time. The mob don't love anybody. The mob is there for the entertainment. Period. If you're not smart enough to see that, then womp womp.
So with the nature of YouTube's search engine and the way that things work on YouTube, these videos ended up becoming virally popular. Okay? So that being said, basically everyone on the planet decided, let's get cheap, easy views. Instead of actually doing something that's worthwhile or constructive or positive for ourselves, let's just attack this YouTuber who seems to be a common target for cheap views. And it became a running pattern with people on YouTube to make negative videos about me. Now, some of them were very valid. If you're going to make a video that criticizes me and my gameplay, that's one thing. But a lot of the videos over the years became increasingly more ridiculous.
Phil is a pedophile. Phil is a thief and a liar who steals from his fans constantly. I did something wrong and I'm a horrible person.
Phil is this, Phil is that. Now, the bottom line is, what these videos would do is take a clip of a vlog or take a snippet of something that I did over the years and show it usually out of context or without proper context to understand what's really going on.
I know you're lying.
And it would add tons of speculation, tons of unsubstantiated claims to make me look bad as a person. So not only were people criticizing my gameplay on YouTube and saying that that was invalid and I shouldn't enjoy success or anything like that, then they went ahead and started attacking my personal life. I got doxxed. I got DDoS attacked. I got swatted.
He didn't get doxxed. He put his own information out there. He's the one who chose to have that condo walkthrough. And then he fucking had a piece of mail on his fucking counter, picked the damn thing up with his fucking information on it, showed it, threw it down, and said, no one's going to do anything, no one's going to fuck with me. Alright, you keep knocking on the door long enough and someone's going to answer you. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And then as it pertains to cutting into his personal life, he put it out there. He put it out there for profit. What did you think someone was going to eventually do? You think there's a difference between Darkside Phil and Phil Burnell? No. They're the same fucking prick. So he got dealt with. That's what happened. Everything was open game. Everything was up for grabs. Anybody and anything could catch the smoke. So some people came for the smoke. It's not their fault he couldn't handle it. No one told him to put all of his personal business out there. He chose to do that. Because when the content wasn't good enough, he needed you to buy in. He needed you to be invested in him more than the content. Not realizing that he made himself the content. And that's why he's at where he's at now.
I got prank calls to my house. I got fucking pizzas sent to my house. Every step, everywhere that I went. If I tried to make a new partnership with a company, people would flag their social media and attack it and say, Phil's a piece of shit, don't do it.
Ah, the salty tears.
If I had any kind of opportunity anywhere, people would constantly attack and just be nasty towards me because it became virally popular to do so. Okay? Do I legitimately believe that there is an actual legitimate gripe against me? I don't. I think what's happened is that it's become virally popular to hate me to the point where so many people have had this feeling for years, they don't even know what they're hating on anymore.
Fuck you, kid.
They just have to find a reason to hate me no matter what. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, they have to find a way to spin it negatively because they've just been doing it for so long.
Now, keep in mind, this is someone who spends a portion of his time when he's not getting drunk or while he's getting drunk and in between WWE or WWE champion sessions, going on Twitter, scouring Twitter amongst popular content creators, the FGC, and just gaming news in general, looking for negativity. Keep that in mind. You see that in the Bottom Bitch podcast all the time. When was the last time you heard him actually pull out a positive story about something? There are plenty of them out there. It's not all negativity. Nah, he's a drama hound. That's what he is. His snout is up in the fucking air, You know what I'm saying? He's a greedy fucking pig who needs negativity. He needs to talk about it. He needs to have it being spoken about him. Period. Like, he doesn't do all that shit on purpose. Let me give you a really great example. And it happens every once in a while. It hasn't happened as frequently lately, but it happened frequently enough to where you can measure it. Didn't anybody find it odd that right before his day off, he would spout out at the goddamn mouth over some ridiculous nonsense to drum up a bunch of shit? And then he would go on his day off. All these detractor, troll, hater videos were made. Detractor Twitter was talking about it. Reddit was talking about it. Whatever the case may be. Some of that shit made it up on live stream fails. And then he came back the next day and then he would speak about it at length. Did no one ever really think that, hey, maybe some of that shit was a bit premeditated? Did anybody not think that, hey, isn't it suspicious that some shit always pops off the day before his day off? He knows what the fuck he's doing. I may be giving him far too much credit, or I may make him out to be smarter than what he is, and that's fair. But at the same time, he does know what he's doing to some extent. It gets out of hand. Like, clearly, he's not going to profit from it the way he does, but as long as it keeps attention on him, I think he'll put his ego before profit. I've told you this before. He will put his ego before profit.
And it's been the in thing to do on YouTube, okay? I mean, it's to the point now, it's so ludicrous. It's one thing, folks, to have something based on a snippet of truth, right?
Okay, years ago, maybe I had a Patreon goal, and I promised I would deliver a certain thing if I hit this goal. I didn't deliver for whatever reason, even though there's circumstances that explain the reason, and no one was really upset about it. Yes, it's true that at one time, years and years ago, I didn't deliver on a Patreon goal. So then people spin it into, well, Phil stole from his fans. I guess I'm not that smart. Man, I'm stupid.
That didn't happen, but that's what they'll say. But at least that's based on a snippet of truth, okay? At least. Now there's things out there that are so ludicrous. People saying that I paid for escorts.
We're soulmates.
That I don't really have a girlfriend, that I'm lying about that I don't owe tax money, that I'm trying to scam my fans. It's insane. It's insanity based on zero facts. Zero. But people now have the ability, because again, it's become so virally popular and so mainstream accepted to just hate on me for the sake of hating, that people now just pull shit out of a hat with no factual substantiation, and it sticks. And people believe it because they're stupid and gullible, and it's become the in thing to just hate on me for no reason. Okay?
What did I ever do? What did I ever do to anyone? I'm a horrendous person.
Somehow I'm the nastiest person on the planet according to these people, and you know, it's like, what? If you actually come to the streams and watch the streams, and you interact with me on a daily basis, and you see the real me, you'd be like, what the fuck are they talking about? What is all this?
I mean, that's not
shit?
the real you, but think about what he's saying. If you come to my streams and interact with me every day, I mean, if you think about it from that standpoint, if you're around someone every day, you're willing to overlook things. You're willing to look past things. And that's what he wants. He wants you to come into the pig pen. He wants you to fall into the pignosis. He wants you to be part of the routine. To where, as time goes on, it seems less and less egregious. Or at least he hopes that it'll pass as such. But even then, if people have somewhere to go or something to do, then why would they put up with you?
They're saying none of this has anything to do with what Phil does on the internet, so where does all this come from? And the answer that I could honestly answer is, I don't know.
I'm good at lying.
Again, it became a virally popular thing to just be negative to me and be nasty to me and try to ruin my life. It really did. And it has become an accepted practice on YouTube. YouTube promotes and propagates it. Via their own search criteria and search engine. When you search for me on YouTube, you will find a dozen or more negative videos about me before you'll find my actual content. Because that's what YouTube has created with their automated bullshit system. They've created a toxic website.
I'm not a whiny baby. Why am I toxic?
Which is why I refuse to focus my business on YouTube anymore. There's no point in me doing it. Here's another
thing, too, that he's overlooking, right? If he was at the top of the heap, if you will, And then these negative videos came through and they slowly overtook him. What does that say about his own content? His own content had essentially had a head start, right? It had the advantage. And then over time, people stopped watching it. Or people got tired of his same old lame-ass bullshit, which gave rise to detractor content. But he won't admit that to you, though. He won't tell you that part. He won't tell you that his shit was subpar, it was boring. A lot of the people who gave him criticism or gave him good advice, great advice in a lot of cases, he completely disregarded it. He said he wanted to keep doing what he was doing because he was one of the last bastions of people who were doing it this way, and he didn't want to convert to, edited style content, more mainstream type of content. Well, then people went to the detractor content. And then the detractor content was willing to do those things to make it more mainstream, to make it more streamlined, to make it more entertaining. This isn't just manipulation or whatever the case may be. This is big bank taking little bank. He had the opportunities to make his content better. He chose not to. He chose to be a dinosaur, if you will. So in turn, this content was doing better, so YouTube's going to promote it. Because YouTube's a business. They don't give a fuck about how long you've been on the platform. They don't give a fuck about how much money you made for them 10 years ago or whatever the case may be. What are you doing now? What are you doing yesterday? And what are you doing tomorrow? DSP is planning on doing the same shit that he did yesterday. The same shit that he's going to do tomorrow. The business has moved on. The sector, this sphere, if you will, has moved on. That's where it comes down to. YouTube don't love you. Twitch don't love you. You know what I'm saying? Shit, people in your fan base don't love you. You're there. And that's really what it comes down to. You're just there.
When you create a completely automated website where there's no rhyme or reason to why something becomes popular and the entirety of the website becomes toxic because of it, there's no fucking reason to continue. YouTube now is an archive for me, where I'll archive my gameplay streams and every once in a while I'll put up a vlog, but there is no fucking reason for me to focus on YouTube when they have literally promoted and propagated my downfall and destruction on the internet through automation and through complete lack of responsibility.
Oh my god!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa! Because the bottom line is, if YouTube actually had some kind of moral responsibility, they would look for shit like that and get rid of it. They'd say, what the fuck? There's entire channels dedicated to literally slandering Phil with no factual basis. Close them down.
I'm not your parent. But instead, they just put their hands up and say, oh, there's too many videos for us to fucking do anything about. We just have an algorithm, so it's all automated. Well, fuck you then. Why am I toxic? More toxic, over
now take that into account for a minute. He goes to these people for help because he's been bitching about detractor videos since 2010. Don't let him tell you different. You know what I'm saying? Long before Evil AJ came about, DSP's been bitching to YouTube about detractor videos. DSP Cold Leader is where essentially where it started. He sits there and says, YouTube, he runs a YouTube and tells them, hey, all these videos are slandering me, they're making me look bad, they're hurting my business, pull them down. Right? Just pull them down. And whatnot. Clearly, he was talking to somebody. He was talking to a real person. And he doesn't take into account that whoever it was that went back and reviewed that content probably came to him and said, hey, you do realize that they're using snippets of your content. Yeah, they're breaking copyright. They're breaking this, they're breaking that. Wait a second, though. You're saying that it's slander, but they're taking what you say and they're isolating it into their videos. So, did you ever come to the consideration that maybe that you're at fault? Like, did you mean that when you said that? No. I was in a bad headspace. It was my depression. I'm having, you know what I'm saying? These people are stressing me the fuck out. Can't you just get rid of them? But you did say that though, yeah? That is something that you said, right? That is you, right? they didn't manipulate like the audio, right? They're not manipulating the video. That is you saying that, right? And you do realize that what that is considered fair use, right? I can't help you if if you can't help yourself. And that's what's pissed him off. And I think that's always what's pissed him off. That's why he tried to take he tried to get top 10 worst moments of 2007 taken down. To be honest with you, he's probably tried to take all of them down at one time or another. Certainly. He hates that shit. He hates those countdowns. And then he tried to even downplay it a couple months ago, saying, oh, he, Secret just used that guy. He just uses somebody else's work and da-da-da, yada-yada. No, Secret Life has to go through a lot of shitty content to determine what he's going to use and how he uses it. And you know that, DSP. Because you considered going over those. Because I am pretty confident that someone recommended it to you. And eventually you'll get desperate enough to do it. Because that's gonna be a real hard look. It's gonna be very interesting to see how you try to wave that off. So them countdowns are kind of brutal, man. Especially like that 2015 countdown. Yikes! 2017 is gonna be rough. Even though he's gonna try to take his victory lap on the SOK situation. Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time with them countdowns when you get ready to do those. Those are some. I've gone over at least two. Those are. If I was you, I'd have a hard time watching those.
Drama queen, toxic.
Seriously, your entire website has become slanderous against me, and I'm just supposed to accept it? No, I'm just going to move on, and that's what I'm doing at this point. I want to be focused on Twitch, a positive place where we can just have fun, guys, and every day, be nice to each other, enjoy games together, interact, and, be completely isolated from the stupid toxic bullshit and leave that shit behind. Okay.
By the way, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation. So, hint, hint, save the house.
The bottom line is, Shane Dawson yesterday was under attack by the internet, and he had to defend himself all day from people telling him he's a pedophile. That's fucked up. Well, guess what happened? After a bunch of people supported him and said, no, this is ridiculous, this isn't true, YouTube deleted the channel that created the slanderous video that had hundreds of thousands of views. Alright? Deleted it. They basically closed the channel. Even though this channel was a partnered channel, it was making money, it was a verified channel, they closed the fucking channel completely. Shut it down. Alright? So obviously, in some cases on YouTube, when people do slanderous things against big YouTubers, there's consequences for actions. But apparently not for me, my person who my life has been...
Well, first off, you don't even want to get into that Shane Dawson situation. There's a reason why that shit's as ugly as it is. And the deeper you go into that shit, the worse it is. And DSP tying his horse to that shit is kind of retarded when Shane Dawson had videos with a really, really young girl. I don't know if she was between like 12 and 15 or whatever. And her and Trisha Paytas were sitting, and Shane were sitting there saying some inappropriate shit in front of her. And even Trisha, her crazy ass, even realizes, this might have been, even back then she knew, this might not be a good idea. Or that one young kid that they had up there, who was probably around that girl's age, and they were talking some crazy shit around him too. And then who knows what he actually did with those kids. So instead of you sitting there taking every bit of information you get off Twitter, maybe, just maybe, you could have just gone ahead and used the YouTube search engine and whatnot and actually looked up some of those videos and actually watched them and see what they were saying. Just saying. There's a reason why Shane is still kind of semi in hiding, but yet trying to have his coming out party again and whatnot. And there's even more dirt out there on him that he hasn't addressed. And that if he's smart, he's probably not going to, because it's going to be really, really hard to try to speak on some of that stuff. It's a really ugly situation. Oh boy, are you going to start defending Cuties again, or whatever the fuck that movie was called?
I can't even fucking go out and apply for a real life job anymore because of all the negative shit that's been said about me on the internet. My 5-year relationship with my ex-girlfriend fell apart over the years because of the amount of negativity tossed our way and how it negatively affected us in our relationship together. All this shit that happened in my life falling apart. My business, my YouTube business that used to be my main source of income falling apart over the years.
That's your fault. You created the monster. You unleashed the monster. And now your complaint is, well, the monster's too powerful to control. Well, fuck you. That's your fault.
oh, you know, ruining my life because of the negativity on YouTube. YouTube won't do anything about that.
Ah, the salty tears. Karma.
But because on one day, Shane Dawson gets accused of being a pedophile, that channel gets shut down immediately. What nice fair and equal treatment, right? Seriously. Fair and equal treatment.
If you act like an idiot, you're going to be treated like one.
On YouTube, apparently. No, it doesn't exist. And I'm tired of it. And that's another reason, guys, why I'm done with them. I am. You know, I will archive my videos there, but don't expect me to be putting any kind of effort or creative content into something on YouTube for a website that will not support me. Over the years, FYI, just so you guys know,
I've reported channels that all they do is slander me. I've done things with copyright. I've tried every avenue to try to shut these people down. And
Wait! He told you guys that he's never... There is a reason why I chose to put the videos in format the way I did. Imagine that! My pseudo genius has come back up yet again. Wait a second. But wait. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. First of all, let's bring this back. Oh, I need all that. First thing is, I thought you said you ain't never tried to take nobody's videos down. I thought you said you weren't about going ahead and throwing off false copyright strikes. You guys know what I'm talking about because he said that shit even recently. That maybe that's one of the reasons why I chose this video. That he's never done any of those things. He was never about that at all. Oh, if that ever happened, that must have been Machinima who did it. They did it on his behalf and they didn't tell him. What?
on YouTube, apparently. No, it doesn't exist. And I'm tired of it. And that's another reason, guys, why I'm done with them. I am. You know, I will archive my videos there, but don't expect me to be putting any kind of effort or creative content into something on YouTube for a website that will not support me. Over the years, FYI, just so you guys know,
I've reported channels that all they do is slander me. I've done things with copyright. I've tried every avenue to try to shut these people down, and YouTube refuses to take any active action. Okay? They refuse. So, that's why I just don't care about that site anymore. Okay? I just don't. And I'm not a children's entertainer.
YOLO Dopper did a 25-inch...
yet again, you heard it you heard it here. You heard it yourself, ladies and gentlemen. He has, FYI, for your information, he said that, hey, I've tried to take down channels, which he has. I've tried to take down videos through copyright or whatever, which he has. He's done everything in his power. But he tells you now in 2022, I'm sorry, that he's never done none of that. He's never gone out of his way to do any of those things. But in 2018, in 2018 though, that was a thing. He tried with all of his piggy might to do it. Well, you see what pigs can do.
Here. He says, now that you're out of the tax situation, are you going to wrap your credit card debt into your mortgage? No, I would like to. I would honestly like to. What I would like to do is refinance my home, and use my equity in my house to wrap my revolving debt into it and put it into the mortgage, which would dramatically reduce my payments and it would help my credit. Guess what? I can't. I looked into it, and once again, I was told by the bank, sorry, but based off of the income level that we see that you have versus the amount of debt that you have, you don't budget for it. So basically what they're saying is, I owe too much debt. If I owed less debt or I made way more money, they'd be able to refinance my mortgage and take all my credit card debt and wrap it into my mortgage so that my payments would be reduced and I wouldn't have all this credit card debt and my credit score would start to go up and things would start to turn around. But they're telling me I still can't do it. So either the house value needs to go up even further or I need to start making more money. It's one or the other.
Now, here's the piggy translation. They don't trust him to pay the money, to pay the money back. They think he may default on it, which theoretically he kind of did when he did the bankruptcy. So they were right. They were right to not do it. It was wise for them not to do it.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
So I'm stuck. The second year in a row, I know I have a lot of equity in this house, and I want to use it, and I've been told by the bank, no, you can't do it. So, can't do it. It sucks. I'm still stuck in limbo here.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Yeah, I'm a gamer! Alrighty then. 28 did $100 cheer, $100, excuse me. 100-bit cheer. I got ahead of myself. No, it was not $100 cheer. It was 100-bit cheer.
It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
Thank you very much, alrighty then, for the 100-bit cheer. I appreciate it. Duke XJT did a 25-bit cheer and says, I'm subbed to you on YouTube and I get troll suggestion videos all the time. They sit there watching you and talking about you, and the videos are hours long. I think that they're secretly in love with you. No, they're not in love. The word Duke XJT is obsessed.
This shocks me.
There's an entire group of people, hundreds if not thousands of people, on YouTube. This toxic group of people who are obsessed. If you're not aware, ladies and gentlemen, obsession is mental illness. Obsession is categorized as mental illness. If you're obsessed with anyone...
So when you're obsessed with the success and wealth and public image and the public images or public image of Pro Jared, PewDiePie, Ninja, and pretty much anybody and everybody else that are Keemstar, Rich, even though I wouldn't consider Rich successful, but whatever. Measure that however you want to measure it. You can be obsessed with all those people and it's justified. But because somebody sits down for a couple hours and makes a video that is funny or informative or both, or even if it's just straight rage, as long as people like it and enjoy it, they're obsessed and they're mentally ill. This is the same person who holds a grudge against his parents over a piece of plastic. A plastic toy. A plastic figure. And he's held it against them for over 15 years. Because supposedly he was between 12 and 15 when he was asking for it. Hard to say. Because, you know, we're going to Pokemon movies with our dad at 17. We can't go to a movie ourselves. Make of that what you will. Anyway, so let's say he was 12 when that happened. You know what I'm saying? You held that shit for your parents' head. You know what I'm saying? For over 15 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Damn near 20. Or damn near over 20, actually. Holy shit. But he want to talk about mental illness, though. This is the same guy who sat there and tried to go to war in a lame sort of way with people on Twitter over reviewed copies, right? And then tried to defend himself, so to speak, then came back and then apologized, then became bitch made and deleted shit, then says years later, it was my depression. Because him and Catherine couldn't go out that day and spend money or something, because, goddamn it, the horse got sick. So his depression kicked in, and he had to go on Twitter and spew off shit. Does that not sound like mental illness to you?
That's a dysfunction in your brain, alright?
Fabbing on stream. I'm so mentally fucked in my head.
If you care more about what a particular person you don't even personally know does than what you're doing, if you dedicate a vast majority of your time towards someone, that's called obsession, and that is sickness. And honestly, if that's the case and that's what your life is like, you need to seek help. And that's not me insulting you. That's me trying to help you. Because for me, for example, there are people I dislike. Absolutely, there are people I dislike. But I don't sit here every day on stream literally just talking about these people at length. I don't. If someone asks me a random question about someone, as you know, in a cheer or whatever,
shut that shit up. You don't get to use. We don't get to put. If we don't get to push the goalpost, then neither does he. Let's keep that in mind. But he wants to talk about obsession and mental illness. Let's talk about that crazy situation that you had in high school when you supposedly got obsessed with that girl, and that shit was really eating at you, and you thought you were gonna do something. You thought you were gonna do something drastic, something crazy. What were you thinking about doing, Philip? Were you gonna pull a Monday Matt and pull a knife out on her behind the church and tell her she had to kiss you? What were you gonna do, Phil? What was gonna happen, little Philip? Just saying, you want to keep talking about mental illness, and then you want to go. Let's go.
Briefly, and then we move on. I don't obsess my entire fucking life over. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Justin Bieber. Alright? Now, of course, he's old news, right? But back in the day when he was just becoming popular on YouTube, I didn't like the kid. I thought his music sucked. His attitude was bad. And he was becoming virally popular, and he was the kid to make fun of. Yes, every once in a while I would make a joke about him, and that was it. You move on. I didn't obsess about Justin Bieber to the point where I followed his every fucking move. I made fun of him at every moment. I tore apart his personal life.
But you just said that you made fun of him at every moment. And then how the fuck does Justin how does that dude even equate to you? You guys aren't even in the same ballpark of anything. And then you said that you hated him because you thought his music sucked and because he was gaining viral popularity. Why would you even say that part? If you said, oh, I don't like his music and it was being played everywhere, that's one thing. People could relate to that. But then you're going to sit there and say he was virally popular. What was he taking away from you? Why are you so obsessed with popularity? And more importantly, why are you so obsessed with other people's popularity? I mean, I don't want to make any judgments on mental illness as it pertains to you. As it pertains to that. I mean, I will sooner than later if I haven't done it already. But, I mean, that sounds kind of weird and a bit sick, maybe?
Yeah. No, because mature people with functioning brains don't do that shit. They don't. That's obsession is mental illness. And that's the problem. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands of people who created this internet negativity culture towards me, where all they do is obsess about me. And that's sick. That's why my life has been torn apart the way it has in the past 5 fucking years. Because of mentally ill, fucking obsessed people. It's fucked up, man. It really is.
That's 100% a lie.
Spicy Wallring did an 85-bit cheer and said, Phil, have you ever thought about doing a fan meetup? I know you want to guard against trolls. Maybe you can make it a high patron tier. The limit it to only about 20 to 25, just a thought. Right now, I am in literally no situation to even think about anything like that. Right
Here,
now,
I'll answer that question for you. No, he doesn't. He knows you guys are weirdos. He knows that he looks at you guys as people that are a necessary evil. He wouldn't want to be seen in public with any of you. He thinks you guys are weird. He thinks you guys are strange. And he thinks outside of your wallet, you guys aren't even really that useful. So there's no point in him coming off of his fucking high horse to, like, come down there with you guys. That's, like, very, very fucking clear. Like, that's very clear that's a thing with him, to be honest. So, no, he would never do that. It doesn't benefit him to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for him, that would be getting too close, which maybe it is. But that would be getting, like, he doesn't respect any of you. So, there's no need for that. Shit, he'd be more willing to sit down and probably have a face-to-face conversation with a detractor, troll, hater, or critic long before he'd be willing to talk to any of you. So, no. That's definitely something he's not doing.
the place oh my god, my hair, I just touched it, got worse. What the fuck? The place I need to be is right here. Streaming for you guys every day.
Making money, having fun, that's what I need to do. It's gross, it's for this. Anything for this, right?
In the future, if things were ever to get better, if my Twitch channel continues to grow in popularity, if people continue to, show me positivity like they have been recently.
Give me monies.
And things grow and things are going good, and I can take time away to actually do stuff like that like I used to. Keep in mind, I used to, back when I was big on YouTube and I was making enough money that I could take days and weeks off if I wanted to. I was going to conventions and I was doing meet and greets. And by the way, I wasn't charging anyone to do that. I would easily come meet me, I'll sign an autograph, whatever. But I haven't done that in years and years because number one, so many people have been so fucking nasty to me that I didn't see the point. And number two, I'm here, I have to be here every day. I have to be here every day to pay my bills, okay? Maybe things eventually will get better to that point. Would I ever do it as a Patreon meet and greet? Probably not. I don't think that would be right. Like, to charge people money to come meet with me is kind of stupid. I don't see myself as a celebrity or anyone special who you should be paying money to come fucking meet. I think that's really dumb. But if I ever were to do a meet and greet at, like, an event, obviously it would be something fun. I used to do them, and I used to really enjoy meeting all my viewers and fans. I did. And then that kind of went away over the years because of all the negativity and the fact that I made way less money and I had to keep working my butt off to pay the bills, so...
Doing a 9 to 5 would be easy.
Oh, you mean like that fake charity event that you said you wanted to do, but you couldn't do it because you weren't popular anymore? That's funny, because I thought the charity wasn't about you. I thought the charity was about helping whatever cause needed to be helped. And I thought you had other popular YouTubers who were willing to sign on to this event. But because your popularity waned, quote unquote, we couldn't do the charity event. Does that make sense to any of you? Womp womp. And I thought he said, doesn't he say, I should say, that charity is supposed to be a private situation? It's not something to be publicized, it's not something to be used for clout, despite the fact that he himself tried to do those very things? Semantics.
No, I agree. See, Jean d'Arc, he just said, as much as I like Phil, I don't think I would actually pay money to go meet him. I agree.
Dude, I'm the kind of person, I've been to conventions, and I want to wait in line for an hour to pay for an autograph from a fucking actor? What? They're a fucking actor. They make ridiculous amounts of fucking money. They don't need to get paid for an autograph. It's so ridiculous. When I go to conventions, I don't charge for shit. That's insane. That's absolutely insane to me. I'm gonna pay to go meet you, to have a private meet and greet. What? Why? I'm just a human like everybody else.
What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
It's not a big deal, But you know what it is? Some people, they do. They get, oh, I'm so excited to meet this person who's my idol, and, I've looked up to them for years. Okay, I guess I kind of get that, but for me, I'm not that kind of person. So
really? Because didn't you do panels? Didn't you have booths at conventions and shit? But that's not you, though, right? Like, none of that ever happened, right? I made that up. Right? Hurtful.
Pay to meet someone is like, what? It just blows my mind.
Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm gonna burn in hell.
Because I want you to think about this for a minute. If there's a convention in another city, right, or even another state, you're gonna have to drive to that state, right? Or you're gonna have to fly to that state, right? You're gonna have to make arrangements that's financially gonna cost you something to go out and to make all this happen, to go out there. So is that not paying to meet somebody? Even though they may not charge you for an autograph or a picture or whatever the case may be, you still had to pay to get out there, right? So that's still you essentially throwing money down to go and meet somebody. So when he was promoting Project 7 and they were doing they had all those panels and they had the booth and everything, did people not pay to go out there and see him? Even if they were just driving 20, 30 minutes, you still had to pay to get out there, right? Like, that's a thing? Maybe? Am I reaching? I might be reaching.
Eternity, because of it, you can't change who you are, I guess. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck. I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God, I wish I fucking was.
It's unfortunate it always cuts itself out at the end like that. Anywho, alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into our third and last video of Goutmas. It's been fun. Hopefully, yet again, my pseudo genius has kind of shined a little bit, so you guys kind of see the fruits of my labor and some of the scenarios that it's gone about. Anywho, it's alright. Appreciation isn't always everything. Let me go ahead and play this last bit, and we'll be back for that third video, and then that'll be it for today. See you guys in just a second.
How to play the game!
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Today is the beginning of the new Twitch terms of service. Yes, ladies and
Oh, this is going to be a fantastic way to start a video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. On our third day of Goutmas, we're here with the third and last video that will make up Goutmas. Let's see. Brought to us by Burnell. DSP. It was a joke. Report me is useless. I will not be banned from Twitch. Defiant sniff, apparently. This is from this is from March 6th of 2018. The link will be down in the description. Reporting me will be useless. You don't say. You don't say.
Gentlemen, the new Twitch terms of service. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, no longer can I do any Twitch streams in the nude.
I know you're only here for the titties, so since you can't see my titties anymore, I know I'm gonna probably, lose probably about half my viewership. Sorry guys, no more tits.
I know. It's terrible. No more Twitch streams in the nude. It's over, folks. I'm sorry. The gravy train rolled as long as it could, and you guys were throwing me money left and right for my sexy body.
Oh, you like my sexy legs, yes. Oh.
But sadly, as of today, I can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm gonna get banned if I keep doing it. So as of today, no more nudity from me on streams. It's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I know you guys have seen my luscious breasts on many occasions, but it's over now, okay? Sorry, guys. Also, it means I can no longer use horrendous hate speech. As you know, every day, usually I get on a soapbox and I insult at least 47 different races, but I can't do that anymore. I can't just sit here and bully people constantly. As you know, I am the bane of 11-year-olds all over the internet. All I do on stream is I sit here and I insult constantly 11-year-olds.
Good, now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that.
Oh my god, that laugh is horrible. But the fact that he still denies this. He denied that for the longest time that ever happened. Denied it. Like, outright said it did not happen. What 11-year-old? How would I know that? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh. So good. So good.
Little children on stream. This is what I do every day on stream. So it looks like I'm going to have to totally change up my content. I'm going to turn into a Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross hybrid streamer so that none of this will get me in trouble, alright? What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint happy little clouds and I'm going to tell you about how to be a good neighbor. Unbelievable. But anyway,
wait. You said Bob Ross. When was this again? This was March of 2018. I think him and Kat actually dressed up for that Halloween event. Matter of fact, I think... Yeah, wasn't the Halloween event of 2018 Tevin's fault? That was the Tevin's fault event? I think that was 2018, actually. Because they got married. She moved in 2000... No. Wait. She moved in in 2018. Yeah, the Halloween event was in late October of 2018. They got married in 2019. Yeah, so it was that same year. So was he thinking about being Bob Ross for Halloween as early as March of that year? Interesting.
Seriousness. There are new Twitch terms of service that are going live today, and the major changes are, number one, you have to actually dress appropriately as if you were at work anywhere else. So that means, sadly, all of those streamers who will remain nameless, but who like to wear skimpy clothing to get money from horny people, are not going to be able to do that anymore. Supposedly, that's over as of today, and I believe that today will be the day when many desperate people will be actually attempting to play video games properly for the first time on Twitch to pay their bills because they never did it before. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people are going to have to be paying attention, they're just going to have to be paying attention to what the terms of service say in regards to things like hate speech and stuff.
Again, for me, not a concern. This is not stuff that I do. I know you're lying. That's 100% a lie. And is 100% wrong. I'm good at lying.
That's not the kind of stuff that I want on my streams to begin with. It's not the stuff I want in my content. But there are some people out there who like to be controversial, and they like to just swear constantly on purpose to be overdramatic and or to try to get attention, over-the-top, angry kind of behavior. And apparently they're not going to allow that anymore on Twitch. So I guess we'll see what happens. It's not about what's in the new rules. It's about how they're enforced, right? So if there's all these new rules and no one enforces them, you know what I mean? Then what's the point? On the flip side of that, if there's all these new rules and now it's like a super lockdown where everyone gets in trouble for like the stupidest little thing, that could also be really bad. So I guess we're all going to have to see firsthand, how does this actually turn out? in reality, you know, is this a good thing for Twitch? Is this a bad thing for Twitch? How will it affect Twitch streamers moving forward? We're all going to find out together. But what I can tell you is this. I can certainly believe that today will probably be a day when Twitch will receive a record number of reports of Twitch misbehavior. Did you hear this person did this? And they're going to have a report. I don't even know how they're going to do their jobs, quite frankly. Like, they're going to be so inundated with excessive reports now because of these new terms of service. I can just imagine.
Oh my god, I got a burp. Excuse me, I felt that one coming. Oh my god. It's terrible. Shout outs.
And then Almighty Black Theo did a 69-bit share.
Thanks.
Sorry, my only takeaway for all that was he was praying that other people were going to fail. And as you know, the Twitch term of service, yeah, some people had to shape up a little bit, but I mean, truth be told, this led to the hot tub streams and all that other bullshit. So it didn't really change that much. It really didn't change that much. Like, people figured out a way to circumvent the rules. They always do. So this was just DSP kind of praying for other people's downfall, which didn't happen, but it did kind of lead to his.
Really, thank you. Saying my cat has been missing for a couple weeks. Where's Cat? She was taking a shower when I was on break. She had just gotten out of the shower. So, that's where she is. I have no idea what else she's doing today. It's up to her. She cooked like crazy yesterday, so today's her day. We'll do whatever she wants. I'm really starting to get worried. Are there any tips you can give me on dealing with this situation? Sure. You can make posters to put up around your neighborhood or post up on social media. You can go to local shelters to see if the cat got picked up and is now at a shelter, you know, waiting for you. There's many things you could do. And all this is publicly available knowledge on the internet. You certainly don't have to ask me on my stream. What a complete idiot.
Shout out to Ren Jesse James, who cheers.
Now, there's actually though it was kind of posed to asking where Catherine was. Interestingly enough, this kind of played into something later on, where because I don't think Jasper was unveiled yet. Actually, I'm pretty confident that he wasn't. He wasn't unveiled. No, because we didn't find out about Jasper till after they came back from Connecticut when they got married. Anyway, for a while, people were equating Jasper to another cat of similar appearance, who's also was named Jasper, that was missing for a while. So it's a joke that happened long before it actually was cemented, but it is kind of funny how that played out, how that ended up being a narrative later. But yeah, when Jasper was unveiled, people were trying to figure out what shelter they may have picked up Jasper from, or what pet store, or whatever the case may be. Obviously, DSP said he got it from a shelter, so that's what people were looking for, see if they can get more information on whether Jasper was declawed before or after DSP and Cat had adopted him, whatever. And information came out that in a neighborhood around DSP somewhere, there was another cat. I believe the cat's name was also Jasper, and was missing. And the cat was eerily similar to Jasper a little bit. Very, very similar. They weren't exactly the same, but similar. So, funny stuff as it pertains to that.
But bad tax voice actually screwed me over too, to the point where I have to take out a second mortgage to pay my taxes. That's not good. That's really bad. You know, that's a really bad situation. Sadly, I looked into taking out a second mortgage. I can't even do it. Because what I'm being told is, even though I have equity in my house here, even though I have equity in the house, I have too much debt outstanding in my name, and no bank would want to lend more money to me. They're basically saying, you'd have to pay off some debt. And I'm like, with what money? With what money am I going to pay off this debt so that I can take out more money against my house? It doesn't make sense, you know? So, I'm screwed. Even though I have significant equity in my home, the only way I'd be able to use it is to
sell the house. Hint, hint. Save the house. Stop being lazy, and maybe that shit won't happen. I'm just saying. Which, again, I don't want to do. That would be the worst case, you know, nastiest, most negative thing probably that's happened to me. If I had to lose my house over the actions of one asshole tax attorney who didn't do his fucking job.
And King of Hypocrisy just cheered. and said, Phil, are you worried that the new Twitch terms of service are coming into effect because you have people who are trying to get people to falsely report you and get you banned? Listen, I already had a conversation with Twitch a week ago about all this. I have a direct point of contact now with Twitch, and I'm not worried. Wanna know why? Because the things that people report me for are always false. Phil did a bullying, abusive thing, and you watch it, you're like, no, he didn't. Like, if you spin this in the most ridiculous, extreme possible way, which is not what happened in the context of the stream, then you could try to say, oh yeah, Phil did something, you know. But no, the things that people are trying to false report are not true at all.
Silver-tongued talker.
That's not the reason why he was able to beat, all those fucking suspensions and bans on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Because he did get suspended a few times. He ate a ban or two for a day or two or whatever, which seems more like a suspension than an actual ban. But it was because someone at Twitch creative support or whatever the fuck the division was basically watching out for his ass. And it's ironic. It's ironic that the moment that dude gets booted, because he was trading essentially his influence to get people into TwitchCon or to push them up when their streams were when they were streaming or whatever the case may be. It's funny how, for sexual favors, I should say. It's funny how the moment he gets exposed and he gets booted, next thing you know, DSP is completely and utterly vulnerable. That shit was fucking fantastic. Fantastic. And DSP said, oh, that wasn't my Twitch point of contact. It was some guy, I think he was French or whatever the case may be. And then DSP further elaborated on all the shit talking that he shitted on that guy. Absolutely shitted on that guy. It said the guy was inept, didn't know what he was doing. Maybe he was just a volunteer. Yada, yada, yada. Then he was asking if he could get another, partner manager, and they wouldn't give him one. Then come to find out he just didn't have one, and no one was willing to deal with him. And not long after that, he gets not long after that, maybe another year later, he ends up getting demonetized, and he leaves Twitch. So just for the record, he is not banned off Twitch. He's just demonetized. He can't make no money over there. Womp womp.
I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
They're not. Having a negative opinion on someone or something that happened is not against Twitch terms of service. Alright? If I harped on it for an hour, massively making personal insults against someone, then yes, that is against Twitch terms of service. But just saying something negative against someone or some people, casually in response to something that was said in the
casually saying something negative to people. The same thing he accuses his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics of doing. Or those bigger YouTubers who say shit in passing. They have to be held over the fire. They're punching down on him, or whatever the case may be. But when he does it, it's no big deal. Like, listen to what he's saying.
Is not against Twitch terms of service, okay? Making an offhanded, quick joke in response to someone who's insulted me blatantly on stream when I don't even know who they are and I just stepped into a room, right? And I'm basically being polite to that person, and they're continue to insult me for a minute, and then I make an offhanded
he cried over that 11-year-old thing for the longest time. He was jealous of that 11-year-old, though. Because remember when he was like, who buys an 11-year-old a gaming PC? Who did that? Like, he's so envious over the dumbest shit. Just dumb shit to be mad about. Yikes.
In another room is not against fucking Twitch terms of service.
Can you please go in the waiting room?
Sure, where is the waiting room?
Right behind you, idiot. You click on that.
You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, if you look around, you would have been able to know. It literally says waiting room on top of it.
Wow. You're quite rude.
Goes back to all that hoof holding that he needs. And you could kind of understand why that kid has some frustration. If someone says, hey, wait in the waiting room, you may actually take a minute to look around. DSP, no. Oh, where's the waiting room at? Can you go ahead and just walk me to it? I don't want to trip and fall.
I'm 11. Deal with it.
You're 11?
Yes?
And your parents bought you a gaming PC? What's wrong with this picture?
Probably because I'm part wolf. You click on it, just so you know.
You click on it. Ah.
Good. Now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that. I did not.
Coward had to wait until he left the room to say that, though. Can't say it to that kid's face. Had to leave the room like a bitch.
Oh. I did everything correct.
Oh boy, funny stuff. Okay, so this is when DSP ended up getting reported on, or was scared that he was going to get reported on for that whole 11-year-old nonsense, crying and complaining like a punk on Twitter. So good, so good. Oh, this shit was funny. Super fucking scared. Oh, if you think the low tier God tweets were pitiful, nah, you take a better look at some of this shit. This shit was hilarious, hilarious. Here, actually, because it's the holiday season. Because it's the holiday season. Let me go ahead and throw on some of this for you, and then I will give you guys a brief moment to go over it. Just a quick glance. This way, it'll be large enough to where you could pause it and, take a look and whatnot. And then let's put some music to it, too. Let's do that. That sounds jolly.
Twitch loves me and my stream.
No! I failed yet again. Hurtful. Give me just a second. I can fix this, I think. Haha. Got that.
Twitch loves me and my streams. Twitch is the future. Twitch is huge.
One of the funny parts was when he says, "Hey, I'm human." You know what I'm saying? I make mistakes and made an indirect joke at a child's expense or whatever the case may be. I'm paraphrasing. That shit was funny how he had to try to talk that shit back. So sad. All because an 11-year-old called him an idiot. Oh, such funny times.
To me, Twitch is the reason why I'm still doing this for a living. It's my main source of income. It's my livelihood, right? It is very much. Twitch is what I do on a daily basis.
The things these people are trying to get me in trouble for are so ridiculously stupid, asinine, and just they're ludicrous. But that's like I said. What I think is going to happen today in particular. All right. What I think is going to happen today in particular, you're going to get 1 million people doing false reports against me, okay? Because they're going to try to get me in trouble for stuff I'm not doing, right? In fact, I just banned someone in the stream chat being a complete moron.
Why am I toxic?
It was 100% solved.
Stop being a moron. Seriously, stop. I'm serious. Stop.
Because he claims that I'm violating Twitch terms of service, when I'm not. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make something abundantly clear to all of you.
I'm gay, totally gay. I'm a very fallible, very, very fragile, very, vulnerable person. Everyone knows that.
You may promote subscriptions and tips on Twitch. It is 100% allowed. You can have goals, you can have motivational tactics to get people to sub to the channel or to tip you. It's 100% allowed. You can also do the same thing for Patreon, and you can do exactly the same thing for merchandise sales. It's all allowed. Okay?
100% allowed.
So, if you're an idiot who thinks otherwise because you don't know how to read English, you should be somewhere else. Because false reporting me doesn't work.
Ah, the salty tears.
There's so many people who false report me on a daily basis saying I violated Twitch terms when I never do, that it's become the boy who cried wolf. You guys are so stupid, flooding Twitch's inbox with things about me that are false, that they, you know, how are they ever even going to find, let's say, in a rare occurrence.
There's a point to be made, because it's been made on Kiwi Farms quite a few times, that it's not the quantity that people flagging him. It'll always come down to the quality. You know what I'm saying? If you have a concise argument and you can link proof, you'll get further than just continuing the spam customer support or whatever the case may be. Same thing with YouTube, same thing whatever. But that doesn't mean people can't break through. Certainly doesn't. Low tier God's a great example of that. It's just all in how you do it. And if DSP was fortunate, the velocity that people come at him is kind of one of his saving graces. But it doesn't mean like it doesn't mean that's the case across the board, because look at Curse. You know what I'm saying? The frequency of people reporting him is what got him bumped. On top of the fact he wasn't making them no money. That's another thing too. Twitch was a little different. He had done some dirty work. He had been a good guinea pig. Plus he had someone who was protecting his ass up high from the Twitch fucking Lord of Darknesses up there and shit. So he was able to get away with it for a little while, but that was only because of circumstance. If he was any other Joe Smo, he'd gotten booted a long time ago. But what you see now, I think, when people report lolcows is it's how concise their arguments are, or their reports are, and then compilations or URLs for all the videos and timestamps in question. The easier you make it to convey your arguments, the easier someone can process it. If you're gonna go ahead and hit people with a fucking essay of shit, no one wants to see that. If you can say, I think this person has broken your terms of service, these are my examples with links and timestamps, you may get further than that at times. But it's all about who you're dealing with too. It's all a matter of who wants, who it is that's actually reviewing your reports. Maybe you have someone who wants to see a wall of text and then a couple of examples at the bottom. Maybe you want someone who's just straight to the point. Okay, let me see the URLs for this shit. Okay, oh wow, really? Oh damn, when did he do this? Oh, okay, we on him. So it's give or take.
Of me being a human and having weakness, that I actually did do something wrong. How would they even find it when these idiots are flooding their inboxes with false crap all the time? Seriously. It doesn't, they're so dumb. Seriously, how dumb could you be? But they're literally so dumb they don't realize they're being counterproductive. They don't understand that. They're that dumb. I just don't get it. Again, if they had brains in their fucking heads, they would realize that what they're doing is not going to do anything negative against me at all. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not getting banned from Twitch.
And yet again, that was really just a deterrent, because eventually they got him. Which always happens to DSP. It happened to DSP on Blip. DSP got himself kicked off Twitch, but he had a bunch of reports on him there too. He ended up getting reported off of Curse. He ended up getting himself... he literally properly fucked himself off of Twitch, to be honest with you. He screwed him. You know what I'm saying? People have been good Samaritans for at least two of the chair companies. What was that? OP Seats and Spawn Seats. If I remember those, if those are the two right ones. I mean, one of those things was a fucking Ponzi anyway, to be honest. Reporting works. You know what I'm saying? As long as you can actually get him on something. But reporting works. The thing is he's such a fucking idiot that he keeps saying, everything you do doesn't matter. You can never do anything to me. Stop. Really, stop. I mean it, stop. You can't do anything. All it does is rev people up to find him. When he moved from Connecticut to Washington, he dared people to come get him. He dared people to come find him, and they did. He dared people to come look for him, and they did. They found out exactly where he lived. So this is what happens when you dare people. Or this is what happens when you push people. This is what happens when you tell people that you can't be touched. You get situations like this.
Oh, you're getting salt. It's even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor. My mouth is full of salt. All I can taste is the saltiness. Like I said, I now have a direct point of contact. You know what I mean?
Direct point of contact with them to talk to people. Everything's fine. There's no problems here, folks. Nothing. Everything is good. And I don't understand why people think that by false flagging me for shit I'm not doing, it's somehow going to get me into trouble. It's not. Regardless of what some random ass, person on YouTube who I'd never heard of before, know nothing about, is once again another YouTuber decides to step up and make drama vlogs about me because it's the only way they can get any fucking attention on their defunct YouTube channel. It doesn't mean that I actually did anything wrong. It just means that person's an attention-seeking whore who has no other way to get attention than to talk shit about me, like many other people in the past. I mean, it's certainly not the first rodeo for me where I've dealt with this kind of crap, okay?
Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm gonna burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it. You can't change who you are, I guess. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.
Oh boy. Good times. Good times. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. That is that's all I have to offer. At least for the moment. Let me go ahead and throw some more music on. Give me a minute to gather my thoughts, and then we'll reconvene. And see you guys in just a second. Yeah. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you guys yet again for showing up to our third day of Goutmas. Yet again, I very much appreciate it. Yet again, just trying to give you guys a little bit of something older to kind of something for you guys to compare with something that's going on recently or some things that are going on recently. It's really not. It really wasn't that hard. It really wasn't. I mean, it took a little bit of time to figure out how I wanted it to be formatted, because this had to be done over 12 different videos. But essentially, I think it panned out. I don't want to pat myself on the back just yet. Still 2 more to go. But I think essentially I've gotten my point across to at least some extent. There's not too much, ladies and gentlemen, that he can do that he hasn't done before. This isn't new. It may be new to you. It may be new to some people, but this isn't new. This is an old game that he's played. A very lazy game, to be honest with you. His lack of creativity comes through on why there isn't any innovation, why his insults are the exact same, why his plan for attack as it pertains to his dents or detractors are the same. His false confidence in his ego, believing that he's winning, is something rather silly. I understand the concept that the average person might break under some of this pressure. I think the average person would know how to handle this better, to be honest. He's someone who hasn't had much as it pertains to recognition in his life. And YouTube, Twitch, the FGC were his only ways of getting it. And he was willing to give up everything for it. what good is any of that now? And that's why I have, at least I myself am very motivated. I'd like to think that Agent Proper is kind of on that same spectrum too, but he has his own reasons. So I can only speak for myself. But that's the reason why I'm so motivated of tearing down that FGC lore. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be proven. It needs to be showcased that he was nothing about nothing in the FGC. He was a fluke. You couldn't even win a side tournament. You're saying now you're too old and you're too tired to play Street Fighter 6 because there's so much to do. Like for him, there's so much micromanaging. He has he has 2 different types of meter he has to manage. Then he's scared to death of the drive gauge. Drive impact completely got him mind fucked when there's so much other shit to worry about. There's combo extensions. There's all kinds of ridiculous shit that he needs to learn if he wants to compete, and he doesn't want to compete. He spent so much time in his hug box on Super Turbo that's what he expects. That's what he's comfortable with. That's what he's safe with. You know what I mean? Even if this was Darkside Phil from 10 years ago, I still don't think he'd be able to accomplish it. So, you know, as much as I hope to see Evil AJ come back, I hope to see Goji Tanks jump in there. I hope to see a lot of people get into the mix in Street Fighter 6 and hand him his ass. There's going to be a whole new crop of people that are going to jump in there as well. He's going to have a mess to deal with. And he's already laying out all the excuses for you. And as far as I remember, he's talking about he doesn't want to. He says he needs to play Street Fighter more than once a week, but he says he can't play it back to back to back. So we're not going to have a week worth of Street Fighter out of him. He's talking about playing it every other day because he's so mentally and physically exhausted. So Friday night fights are going to come back, and that's it. He's going to be stagnant. And it's just going to be week after week of him getting his ass kicked. And then he's talking about he's going to turn cross-play off because he thinks everybody on cross-play is PC, as Tevin pointed out. Did he forget that PS5 players are on that bitch? He just wants to keep focusing on PC because he sees all the advantages that they have because of what everybody was saying on Twitter. So there's a whole lot of problems. Speaking of which, by the way, there's a new version of Fightcade out and available. Download that for any of you guys who are out there. You'd be surprised how well it runs. And you don't need the greatest PC to do it, but it is made available to you. So I just want to throw that out there. I think the concept needs to be broken down, and I think that's if you got all these guys out here that are willing to push it to the limit, essentially, to prove all of these falsities that DSP has, then we should really start chipping at what he values most. The FGC is one of them, one of many things that needs to be chipped down. His early YouTube career is another thing that can be targeted. Let me not give it all away. If people figure it out, they figure it out. There's a lot out there. Watch the old Tevin stuff. Watch the old Theo stuff. Watch the old Argent stuff and whatnot, and you'll know exactly where you'll essentially have your roadmap on where to go. Just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? He's taken so much from all those people over there. I know I call them dense, I call them idiots and all that. And at the end of the day, they are people. And sadly, he's taken people who may have been weak and he made them weaker. I'm not doing it for them, though. I'm not going to lie to you on that. I'm doing it for my own entertainment. But for those of you who are willing to look past yourself, then you have that. Or you can just point and laugh. Fuck the morals on this bullshit. None of us are going to win the fucking Nobel Peace Prize on anything. Have a good time with it. But that's my route. At least for what little bit of time that I have with that. So anyway, thank you very much for listening in. Very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Which tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So, there's that. And if I can hit this deadline, then everything can get wrapped up. And so on and so forth, because time is definitely getting short. So, yet again, thank you guys very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And like I said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Later.